This year I spent an insane amount of money. I bought a brand new mouse and keyboard, new lap desk, really good quality, name brand, wrist rests. Have you seen my visual feast of RGBs for my two PCs? And it all syncs perfectly, which is really neat.
I'm living, king dream, dual streaming. I'm the king of crushing goals and belt controls while they see me go. With my success, don't need all that, so I'm having upsurgence.
Blacked out curtains, Elgato foam. I have 4 boom arms and a brand new microphone. Primo webcam, the Elgato Stream Deck. As you can see, RGBs powered by SkyTech. I got a new crown, a crown that fits, and Sticker's final chip. Oh, I dropped it. Oh, lickety split. Samsung SSD that was just donated to me. NVMe 2 instead of NVMe 3, whatever that means.
I'm living, king dream, dual streaming. I'm the king of crushing goals and belt controls while they see me go. With my success, don't need all that, so I'm having upsurgence.
Again, guys, I'm living in this reality that people like me now and want to support my stuff. It's hard for me to accept it and think that it's real. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm DSP, as always, and this is the Level 1 podcast. We're busy having fun down here on Level 1. Death and taxes, microtransactions. My rhyme flow like water, but my flow like molasses. Still swaying on that axis. Staring at the past through these rose-tinted glasses. 15 years, man, singing the same song. I did everything correct. I did nothing wrong. It's been tough finding the strength to carry on. I'll never be like Justin Wong. The drama, the bullshit, my trolls, my haters. I'm laying down the law, and I'm putting my foot down. I'm done with it. I'm fucking done with it. The drama, the bullshit, I'm done with it. My trolls, my haters, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna live my life and have fun with it. I'm done with it. I'm fucking done with it. I'm tired of looking like dirt. Put on a crispy shirt. Take some pride in my work. Stop being a jerk. Spend some time with my wife and my son. Staying in my lane. Down here on Level 1. The truth of the matter is, I just want to have fun. I got some baked beans and a hot dog in my bun, basking in the glow of this digital summer sun. Babe, as soon as I met you, I knew you were the one. You're like a bright ray of light on my rainy day fun. So please tip me, because super chats don't help until the end of the month. Okay? The drama, the bullshit, my trolls, my haters. I'm laying down the law, and I'm putting my foot down. I'm done with it. I'm fucking done with it. The drama, the bullshit, I'm done with it. My trolls, my haters, I'm done with it. I'm just gonna live my life and have fun with it. I'm done with it. I'm fucking done with it. I'm tired of looking like dirt. Put on a crispy shirt. Take some pride in my work. Stop being a jerk. Spend some time with my wife and my son. Staying in my lane. Down here on Level 1. Do a begathon where tip me and do this and do that. We're not doing that. It's business as usual here on DSP Gaming. We play games, we have fun. If you guys like it, you support it. The week is going slow. Tough through it. So how are you doing? This is how I'm doing. Tips very low now. But I've noticed tips very low right now. The week is going slow. It gets to me. My life is ruined. This is how I'm doing. The losers out there who thinks that they know shit, kiss my fucking ass and eat my right now. A full podcast booked, full gameplay streams booked. Everything's booked. Everything's booked. Can't do anything crazy. And I don't even have enough to buy groceries. It sucks. The week is going slow. Tough through it. Phil, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing. Tips very low now. But I've noticed tips very low right now. The week is going slow. It gets to me. My life is ruined. This is how I'm doing. And losers out there who thinks that they know shit, kiss my fucking ass and eat my right now. Phil, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing. Phil, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing. Phil, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing. Phil, how are you doing? This is how I'm doing.
Hello. Thank you all for showing up to the late style, I guess, Saturday morning style Atlas stream. It is still Saturday morning, despite being an hour later. Once again, I want to apologize to any of the morning individuals who had their routine ruined due to my own doing. That's my bad. I don't really have a reason for it. I just wanted to start an hour later. The West Coasts can come in. I can chill around for an hour before getting on the stream. It just feels more robust and meaningful to me. So hopefully I didn't fuck you all over too bad. But if I did, I apologize. Before we start, of course, the Atlas style segment, and it's a short one because I really just played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as much as I could this week, which wasn't very much. Being a full-time employee and all. I also did some real grandpa shit. Some might call it unk behavior, but I had a jacket that didn't have an inside pocket. Now I myself am an inside pocket enjoyer. That's where I like to put my phone. If you ever need to rob me, my phone's in my inside pocket, I guess. There's information for you. So I installed my own inside jacket pocket. I spent time putting that in yesterday. That's it. That's all. That's pretty much all I did for the week. So there you have it. Before we get into the hardest worker on YouTube, the cream of the crop when it comes to online entertainment and how hard he's working and well, how he's doing in general. Of course, I need to shout out Robert Williams, I believe. Let me make sure I'm getting the name right. Hang on, it's loading. Got grandpa internet. Yeah, Robert Williams for the 22 months in a row as a member. Big up. There's no chat. Big ups to Robert Williams. I really appreciate it. And he says, coming up on 2 years. Big ups to everyone who's here. Well, big ups to you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, like I said, we're here to discuss the guy. We're always here to discuss the guy. You guys love him. You're his biggest fans. You show up to all of his streams. And there's nothing that I can do to stop you. I'm honestly confused as to why you show up here to watch me watch the guy, because I know you've already seen it, but hey, we're here nonetheless, and I appreciate your time. But you might have seen he bought 8 wrist rests or something like that. Yeah, I want to say it was 8. And he spent an exorbitant amount of money. Now, I was going to do a fun little poll where we asked the people how much they think that he spent on the wrist rest, because I did go out of my way to add it all up this morning on my own volition, using my own Amazon account. But apparently, Mr. Unk Insider decided to do this already, as well as Nerd Brew. So I guess it's no surprise that... I guess it's no surprise that it's already been done when you show up this late to the party. I'm seeing $300 worth of wrist rest, and that's not what I got. That's not what I got, but we'll go over each one individually, of course, as he pulls them out and what I seen them on Amazon for today. And then I will tell you, and then I'll give you the total at the end. We're going to do it that way instead of including you, because I don't want people fucking cheating and ruining the numbers, you guys. It's important. So, thank you, Sid the Stoner, for the first month, saying, I work in a warehouse freezer below -5 degrees. 6 days a week, 11 to 12 hours a day, but DSP is the hardest worker out there. It's true. It's true. I've also spent time working in a freezer. Not that fucking long, that's for sure. But I also spent time working in a freezer. And, you know, a lot of people don't want to do that job. It's not so bad. I feel like people leave you the fuck alone when you're in the freezer. So I didn't really have any complaints in that department. I hate when people bother me at work. But anyway, thank you, Sid the Stoner, for the 1 month membership. Big ups, brother. But I just can't wait to get into the guy's wrist rests here. It was honestly the most absurd thing I think I've ever seen. You can't write this shit. They always say if you put monkeys in a room with typewriters, that inevitably they will write Shakespeare or Hamlet or whatever the fuck. I don't think that that's possible with Mr. Wrist Rest over here. I don't think that even God himself could have foreseen this coming. DSP defies fate in this way, and that's what makes him a unique and robust style individual.
Alrighty then. So let's go. This segment, we're now going to do the rundown of some of the stuff that I've gotten to improve everything. So let's talk about it, shall we? So I have told you guys that recently I upgraded all of my equipment. So for example, as you can see, I upgraded my keyboard. This is now the Asus ROG, or ROG, Republic of Gamers, Azoth keyboard.
Whoa.
Okay.
Hang on. Did you guys know that he got a new keyboard and mouse? Did you know that he's been upgrading his setup? I know you haven't heard this before. I know that this is probably new information. So if this is the first time you're hearing of it, guys, DSP got a new keyboard and mouse. He honestly got a new everything, in case you haven't heard.
Yes, it has fancy RGBs. That's not why I got it. I got it because
Yes,
it was rated
is, brother.
one
Yes,
of the
it
best
is.
keyboards for gaming right now for the value for the dollar. There are more modern versions of this. Like, I think there's like a 2.0 version. And when I was reading the reviews, people were basically saying it's more expensive, but doesn't really add any features that are viable for competitive play. Like, it has some extra bells and whistles.
What the fuck does that mean? What is a keyboard that is viable for competitive play? That's honestly something that I've been asking myself as we continue to go through these equipment segments, these hardware segments. Even we're going to do it during the wrist rest segment as well. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. He keeps talking about competitive play and being a gamer, but I'm not quite sure that the peripherals necessarily make up the gamer nor their skill and ability at a game. I think he's living in La La Land if he thinks that's true.
Really add much, and it is an increase in price, like a price jump.
He is the biggest mark. It's true. It's true.
The Azoth 1 model, okay? And I love it. All the keys have a textured top, which I really like about a keyboard. It's not a smooth top, but a textured top. They're the clicky style keys, so you get that tactile feeling when you're playing with this keyboard. It has some added features, like for example, over here has like an LED screen.
Does he mean mechanical? Because like clicky style is it's a key type. Like I used to have blue clickies as opposed to like the normal red switches or brown switches or whatever the fuck you use.
Hold on.
Not sure that clicky style is necessarily what he means.
It has this
Maybe
LED
he just means
here,
mechanical.
And you could program the screen to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like you can actually have it do animations and things. Like you could have a thumbnail there. You can actually have it play a video loop, which I think is silly.
Have a thumbnail there? He's putting you could put thumbnails, like the images for your videos on the screen?
Why do you need that on your keyboard? I just have it do default, like the date and time. Not that I would ever use it, but yeah. And it also has this knob. You can use it to do all kinds of things with your PC, like adjust the volume of your PC, adjust RGB settings on your PC, all kinds of stuff. Okay, so basically, it has a lot of features that I don't use.
Great, awesome, perfect, fantastic. Then why the fuck did we buy it? It's like if you were to buy one of those like animated graphics plates that you can put on the side of your graphics card and play. Wow, that looks like shit. Man, I hate that's so sized. Anyway, that's the way it looks today. we'll figure it out one day. I hate the way that, or it's like if you bought one of those animated graphics plates and you put it on the side of your graphics card so that you can play like GIFs on the side or whatever, and then you just never used it. You never put anything on it. You just installed it and had it plugged in for God knows what fucking reason. Why do you buy, or why does he buy, because you don't do this, I believe in you. Why does he just buy shit with features that he never uses? It's the same thing with those goddamn webcams. It's got all that AI and auto rotation, this and that and the other, and he used it for a week and then decided that he doesn't need to use it. It's completely superfluous and he never needed it to begin with. Why the fuck did we pay for it? You could have just bought cheaper, easier to use shit and it never would have been a problem. But anyway, thank you, Sid the Stoner, for the 5, saying spent thousands frivolously on all of these things to make him better, but he's still just as bad. Money does not equal skill. Absolutely. And that was even true before we were buying this shit, when we spent what, $500-600 on that fucking joystick so that he could play Street Fighter 6 poorly. Yeah, it's always been the case. He's definitely a hardware over talent style individual. Thank you, Sid the Stoner, for the 5. I really appreciate it, brother.
Bought it for is the response time and the actual control, and I would say it's a very good keyboard for what it is. Is it pricey? Yes, but at the same time, so far I've loved it. And by the way, you might notice I actually have it plugged in. And you might say, well, I thought that, oh, hold on. You might say, I thought that it's a wireless keyboard. Here you go. Why is it plugged in? Apparently, it actually has even better response time when plugged in. So I left it, I'm just leaving it plugged in, and it's fine plugged in. It works well. We don't have to worry about recharging the battery or whatever. So there you go. The
As if he thought that plugging it in would make it not work, I guess. I've never heard anybody have that like assumption, but sure. I also don't know how he didn't understand that by having wired peripherals that you were just going to get better response times. That seems pretty straightforward. A wireless is always going to be slower than being hardwired in. It's just the facts of life. Like your Wi-Fi signal is always going to be worse than your Ethernet cord. Hate to tell you, if you didn't know this, breaking news, I guess. And I'm going to be honest with you, as a competitive style gamer, as somebody who plays shooters, fast reaction time required style games sometimes, I don't really think that it makes a difference. Unless you're playing at like an esports level or whatever, I genuinely don't believe that most people can tell the difference in their peripherals being wired or unwired. I think this is one of those like placebo effects where if you know, then you think you feel it, but the reality is I don't think you do. I think you're making that shit up.
ROG Azoth, I recommend it.
That might be
so
a
far,
hot
I really
take,
like it.
but
I feel like playing on this thing has improved my gameplay.
Most people aren't good enough for it to
Okay?
make the
So
difference
moving
anyway.
on to that basic upgrade, which you guys already knew about. Over here we have the mouse, and this is my Razer Viper V3 Pro wireless mouse. It is the lightest mouse I have ever used in my life. It is
Gross.
insanely lightweight, which is crazy because it has a very long life battery in it. So I was using it for about 2 weeks and never recharged it, and I just recharged it recently. Okay? I love this thing. This has the best response time of any mouse I've ever used. It absolutely controls very precisely, and I've been getting shots I've never gotten before in Call of Duty using this just for a couple sessions.
And Call of Duty's just not a good, like, it's not a good benchmark because of the skill-based matchmaking. Like, you can't trust, not to sound like a schizophrenic or anything, but you can't trust anything that Call of Duty tells you because of the way that they fuck with the actual game mechanics in order to make you engaged and continue to play the game. Like, you should definitely be playing something far better and far more consistent than Call of Duty in order to benchmark your peripherals, if that's something that you actually do, which it's not for him. But yeah, absolutely not. That's atrocious. Also, a light mouse and a white one at that. I was just speaking on this last week in real life. I'm not a big fan of a white peripheral setup or a white build at all. I think they're kind of ugly. The only people I know that build white, and this is going to be an insult if you have a white setup, I apologize, I guess. The only people I know that build white setups are girls and femboys. Those are the two options. I'm sorry if you have to unfortunately fit into one of these two categories now, but I just don't think, I don't think they look very good, and I think that they say something about you as an individual. So I, again, hate to be the bearer of bad news here. I'm probably ruffling a lot of feathers right off the bat here, and I guess I have to apologize. Not really. I think you washed Frank for the 5, saying don't try and wrap your head around why the guy with a corner desk in the middle of his room bought anything. What? Now that's good advice. If you're really stumped and you're racking your brain over this, I think that's fantastic advice. But for entertainment purposes, and because I love to bitch and moan, it's something that I specialize in real life as well. I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to do my goddamn best. And I hope you're here for it. Thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. Washed Frank, big ups.
So if you want, it's a good mouse because the thing is, it's not overpriced. Like there are other mice like this that are they claim they're better models, okay, but they're more expensive. This one is supposed to be the best value for the dollar with the level of control that it has. I also do like that it's the
best value for the dollar is actually the mouse that he already purchased, the G502, of course, which I will shill until my actual dying breath. And he already owns it. That's already the reason why it's the best value for the dollar is because he already owns the fucking mouse. He didn't have to spend any more dollars. He could have just had the best, which he does.
Mouse. It allows me to have better control of the mouse. I had a smaller one. I had this one, which is the Hero mouse from Logitech, and it's a little heavier, but it's a little too small, I feel, for competitive play. Like I was using it, and I really like it.
It's got big man hands, you guys.
Like the Razer mouse better. It just feels like just better control. Okay, so those are the basic 2 peripherals that I have been using for gameplay recently. But actually, what I wanted to show you.
Oh, a sneak peek of the mouth guard style wrist rest over there.
Attempts at
spoilers,
the
DSP.
Right things to use with these peripherals. And one of the hardest things I think to figure out right now is what is the best way to go about having a wrist rest when you are going to be playing games online, because there's a lot of options. All right. Like there's a ton of options. All right. So to give you an example of some of the things that I've tested and have used for the last year, I was actually using this thing. Okay. Right. This is simply put memory foam that's shaped like clouds. Okay. It looks nice, right?
Did you guys know that these were shaped like clouds? Could you tell that this was what this amalgamation of balls was supposed to be? Super Blind Man died a long time ago, and DSP never really graduated past the Super Blind Man level of commentary where he describes things that are very obvious, as if you can't see them with your own eyes. And I know he's not actually trying to accommodate any sort of audio style listeners, given the fact that the rest of his show is usually not very audio style friendly. So he's actually just doing it for the visually impaired, I guess.
Aesthetically pleasing. And here, if I put it in my setup, right?
It does look like a cloud of spunk. You ain't wrong.
It actually looks kind of nice. It pops on camera. You can even see, look here on this camera here.
It pops on camera.
It shows up nice on camera, does it not? And so it's been aesthetically pleasing. However, to be very...
It's been aesthetically pleasing. I don't think he knows what that means. He thinks that his set looks good with the flashing lights and shit in the background nonstop. I'm not taking DSP's, aesthetic opinion on fucking anything. Also, I don't think I have to say this again. White peripherals. I ain't buying it, buddy. I don't care about your opinion.
For actual support, okay? I just don't really like it. It's all right. It's soft. And I would say when you're typing, like if you're typing on your keyboard, it's fine. But the moment that you go to play games, it's just not sufficient.
Why?
It kind of feels a little sticky. Like when sweat starts to come out of your wrist and it gets on there, it just doesn't feel very comfortable. And it doesn't give you the level of support that you're really looking for when you're doing competitive gaming.
Now, please inform me. Jesus Christ, that one's massive. Why does it look like that? Anyway, please tell me if you guys suffer from this as well. Sticky wrist, sticky sweaty wrist syndrome. I'm gonna call it from now on. What's up with that? He keeps saying this, or he's gonna continue to say this the entire way through this section. He's gonna complain about how his sweat is actively eating through these wrist rests at a rapid pace that you couldn't imagine. Is this something that any of you suffer from? As a lifelong gamer, I've been playing games since before I could read. No, this doesn't occur. Sweaty palms, I get. Sweaty fingertips, sweaty wrists. I'm not buying it, buddy. This is a Pig Roach exclusive problem. So I'm not sure that these reviews are exactly going to be helpful to anybody that doesn't suffer from Pig Roachism.
So I've had this for like a year and I've been using it.
Everybody is saying no as well. Okay, like for all my audio styles, no one suffers from this.
But I don't recommend. This is aesthetically good. Or if you're only using your keyboard for typing, maybe I would recommend it. But I would not recommend this as like a gaming wrist rest. Okay. So you can just take this and you can just throw it in the trash. All right, don't do that.
And Nurgalora, I'm seeing it in the chat. Nurgalora. It's not a joke. It was never a joke. The guy legitimately has an aura around him that eats and erodes at electronics and silicones and rubbers in a way that is again, just unfathomable to a normal human being. Like that's why you think it's a joke, and it was always a reality for DSP. Everything that he owns for an amount of time becomes sticky or corroded or broken down at a remarkable pace.
If you have it, don't throw it in the trash. But what I've been doing is I've been testing various other rests to try to figure out like what's good that could be used for competitive gaming. All right,
competitive
I tested
gaming,
a bunch now,
which he does tons of, by the way.
All the different types
like
that exist, because there's a ridiculous amount of ones that exist. Okay, so this is shaped memory foam, and you can get memory foam of so many different kinds. You can get ones that look like clouds, ones that look all fancy and stuff. All right, they're all pretty much the same, unless you go for one of the name brand like gaming level ones. This is not that. This
Gaming
is more just a generic,
level.
look.
Like just proving again and again that he's a mark. All of the words and adjectives that he uses to describe all of the things that he's going to talk about today. It's gaming level. It's pro level. It's high end. It's rated for gaming. You can just slap this shit on anything, and DSP will buy it, and he'll buy it at an upcharge, and he might even buy multiple of them. It's absolutely insane.
Memory foam, you could squish it or whatever, but there's nothing special to it. You get one that's just black and it's generic. You get ones that are like gel, but they all are basically feeling exactly the same. All right. So I tried some different ones, and the one that I tried recently.
Okay, before he gets away from it, I looked up the cloud wrist rests, specifically the gray ones that he has, and they're on Amazon right now for $13.67. In case you were wondering. So we're already $14 in the hole on these cloud memory foam wrist rests that we don't even like and aren't even rated for gaming. So there's about a lunch's worth of dollars down the drain right there. That's a day's worth of eating if you're very frugal, and it's going to go in the closet, never to be seen again, to erode into dust.
I was looking online, and everyone swore that this was like really good. Is this one? This is made of wood, and I think it's called Glorious, the Glorious Wooden Wrist Rest. Okay, so it's literally a solid piece of wood.
Bro got sold a fucking contoured piece of wood that he could have done himself at home with some I want to say polisher, but I know that's not the right thing. With some sanding and some stain, he could have accomplished this himself, but instead he spent $13 for this little piece of wood right here. Very cool. Very, very robust. No, sorry, my bad. I read the wrong thing. This thing is $30. I fucked up my my own reading. This thing is $29.23 on Amazon right now for the full-sized one. This is a $30 piece of wood brother is holding right here, right now.
As you can see, it's not perfectly flat. It has an incline that your wrists sit on. Okay, and they painted it with this kind of like lacquer paint. Right. So it's supposed to be like smooth on your skin.
Yeah, they put a dark finish on it, brother.
It looks nice.
Pretty cool.
I'm not going to lie. On the bottom, it's got rubber feet. So basically it sticks to your desktop.
Oh shit, I didn't take into consideration. It's got rubber feet that you can add with hot glue.
And said, this is so good. It really is supportive. I tried everything else. It doesn't work. I swear by this Glorious Wrist Rest. It's so good. And, they swear by it so much, they make it in all different sizes. In fact, here's another one for mouse size. So, yeah, you can do it for your mouse.
I had to get the mouse-sized one, guys. Of course. Because when you're testing the full-size version of something, you automatically buy the smaller version of it as well, even though you don't even know if you would like it. So in case you were wondering, the mouse-sized version is an additional $17.14. So we've all $37 on these pieces of wood here together. Almost $40 on wood that you could have got at the hardware store and stained yourself for pennies on the dollar.
You do it for your keyboard. All right. So there you go. So I used it. What did I think?
What did he think? Go ahead, tell us.
I don't like it.
Of course.
In fact, you can actually see why. Are you taking a look at the top of it right now? Do you notice something? Do you see something on the top of the wood right there? You see that it looks like almost like spots, right?
No.
So here's what I found is the problem with this keyboard, with this wrist rest, okay? When you go to use it, at first it's actually very comfortable. And in fact, it gives you good support as you're typing or even if you're gaming, with it. So it's good.
I hate that not only did he have to mime typing, as if you've never typed in your entire life, but he couldn't even put it down on the desk to actually simulate typing over the keyboard to see how it properly lays. He insisted on just holding it the entire time at a goofy ass angle, just hovering over the keyboard. It's just so alien when like the real answer and the best way to do it is just far easier.
Initially, within about an hour of using it, your wrist starts to sweat, because that's just what happens. When skin is touching something, it starts to sweat. And when your wrist starts to sweat, all of a sudden, moisture accumulates on the wood, and immediately you notice your wrist is starting to stick to the wood, which is very uncomfortable. You don't want your
sticky wrist situation.
Right?
Tough.
So, in reality, initially it's good, but the moment that things start to get heated in a game, it's not comfortable at all. And as you
they get heated in a game, it means it gets heated in real life, you guys. You wouldn't understand. You're not thermosensitive like the guy.
can see, what ended up happening was it actually started making sticky spots on the wood, which you can visibly see on it. So, yeah, of course you can.
Which you can't visibly see on it at this quality. Of course, I'm not streaming it to glorious, like, fucking 9K or whatever DSP is streaming at. This is a downloaded version, probably at 720p. But yes, another instance of actual Nurgle rot. DSP is eating through the lacquer finish on this piece of wood, and it's becoming sticky. That normal people will not suffer from this. There's just no way, dude. Absolutely no way.
Clean it, but the whole idea is you're not actually.
And he used it for such a brief amount of time that it's completely unbelievable that this is already something that it's suffering from. There's people in the reviews for this wood that have used it for such an extended period of time all day long for their actual jobs and have never complained about this. They're claiming that it's the best wrist rest they've ever used, that it's like one of a kind, and it just like nothing pales in comparison to this. And DSP used it for what, a week, a couple of play sessions, and he's actually eating through the lacquer finish. That's crazy, bro. Thank you, Schrodinger's dog, for the 5, saying, God, he's so boring. Imagine having to demonstrate your totally mid stuff every 5 minutes. It's a piece of wood. Oh, really? Yes, because he has nothing else. There is no other entertainment value here. He's not good at games. He's not funny. He's not interesting. I just have to show you my shit that I keep spending money on because you don't have your own money to spend shit on. I guess you're supposed to give it all to him. And that's why it would appeal to a dent. Thank you, Schrodinger's dog, for the 5. And NWO News for the 2, saying Phil abuses his wood. This is true in more ways than one. He's even done it. He's done it twice on stream now, right now and before on May 1st.
Supposed to have that happen. Like, you're trying to have a comfortable gaming experience. What I could say is maybe if you're just typing, much like with these memory foam wrist rests, if you're just typing, perhaps it's good. Okay? But when you're actually gaming and you're actively trying to do stuff, quickly with your wrist, you're going to have some friction against this. You're going to have some sweat, and it's really not built for that. So, as many people as recommended this online.
It's not built for friction with your wrist, specifically while gaming. Maybe it's the gaming that's the problem. It's not DSP. Maybe gaming is just so toxic as a medium that it's actually ruining the things around him. We never even considered this. I mean, that would mean that all of us would have been experiencing this, so it's kind of stupid, but it seems to be that's the way DSP is telling the story. It's actually gaming's fault.
I guarantee you none of them game. They're probably just people typing, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I don't recommend this at all.
People who type all day don't know what they're talking about when it comes to wrist rest.
And it does look nice, don't get me wrong. Like, it's really nice looking, but I just don't see spending the money on it when it's going to be sweaty and sticky the moment that you get into something serious, okay? So I bought the set,
serious,
and,
like gaming.
I'm probably never going to use them because I really don't like them after having tested them, okay? So there you go. All right? So there are other kinds of wrist rests as well.
Gotta take a big sip.
Okay? There's 2 currently that I actually really like that I want to recommend to you. And then actually what I'm going to do is also I'm going to show you that I tested a bunch for the mouse as well, because I have some discoveries there to show you. So
some discoveries. He acts as though he's some sort of like adventurer, some type of explorer that's conquering new lands and uncovering secrets nobody has ever seen before. Some discoveries. Holy fuck, this is gonna blow your guys' mind wide open when I show you these things that have like 1 billion purchases already on Amazon.
There's 2 wrist rests that I'm currently using. Okay, this rest is the one that I'm currently using over here. I just accidentally closed my app. Hold on. I didn't mute the music, did I? No, I just accidentally minimized it. So this is the wrist rest that I'm currently using over here for typing and updating the leaderboard and doing things on my capture and streaming PC.
Right.
This is an insanely simple wrist rest. I'm going to show you what it is. Ready? It's silicone, and it's a hexagon silicone wrist rest. It's rubberized, and the thing is, it's very soft on the top. Unlike the wooden wrist rest, where it's a hard lacquered surface and it basically builds up like sweat. This one.
Now the wood doesn't build up sweat. You are the one that's building up the sweat. Why are we attributing the sweat to the wood now? What the fuck? Anyway, this is a $15 piece of silicone by the way. This is $15 worth of glorified rubber right there. In case you ever wanted to throw an additional $15 just in the trash, you can go ahead and purchase that on Amazon right now. And make sure you use your Amazon Prime for free shipping, of course. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2 saying this rest is a symbol. Oh, like the vest. I see what you did there. All of these rests are a symbol, actually, of how we're loved by the internet since Asmongold has been around or was around. We'll get there later. We'll touch on that. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2.
It does not. This one is actually very soft to the touch, and I feel like this kind of silicone material is basically meant to give you support, but also not make you sweat. Just whatever materials.
That
in
was
the silicone,
designed
it
like
feels
that
good.
to
It's
not
smooth,
make
and
you
I've been using
sweat.
this now for a
The
couple
wood
of days,
was, of
and
course.
it hasn't really given me that level of discomfort that the wood did at all. And actually, it's pretty good for both typing and gaming. Okay, this particular brand I think is.
Now, I didn't see that on the webpage, by the way. I was looking all over the product page on Amazon that said it was good for both typing and gaming, and I did not see that explicitly stated anywhere. So I feel like he's just kind of drawing some conjecture there.
Is it KC Tron? I can't really read it.
Shout out Casey Tron.
Keychron. That's what it is. Keychron.
Oh, sorry.
Keychron. Okay, I do recommend this. The best part about this, it's cheap. This is less than $20, and you can get it in all different sizes. This particular size is for like 10 keyless keyboards. See, it fits this one like perfectly, and it is at an incline for the record, just like the wood was. See, there's an incline, and you can place it however you want, like right up to the keyboard, or you can place it slightly back, either whatever.
No
feels more comfortable to you.
way! Did you hang on? Did you guys see that? Should I run it back? Okay, so look. Not only is it a TKL, wrist rest, but also you can put it close to the keyboard as well as about a half inch away from the keyboard. I know you've never seen this before. This is completely unique to this wrist rest. Okay, check this out.
And it is at an incline for the record, just like the wood was. See, there's an incline, and you can place it however you want, like right up to the keyboard, or you can place it slightly back, either whatever feels more comfortable to you.
Completely unreal, you guys. Now this alone might just sell you on this wrist rest if you were in the market. I mean, that's again unfathomable, insane. Thank you, Red Bird, for the 17 months. Saying, Phil reminds me of those guys who keep buying guitar accessories and new, better guitars instead of getting good with the gear they already have. Well, absolutely. Because if you have a $5,000 guitar, it doesn't matter if you can actually play the guitar, because everyone will think that you can play the guitar. And the image of being able to do it is far more important than the actual skill itself. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And of course, categories. Thank you, Red Bird, for the 17 months. Big ups.
And because it is silicone, it sticks nicely to whatever surface you have it on. You don't need to have like feet on the bottom like this has. This one just naturally sticks because
no
it's made
feet?
of silicone.
Tell me out.
So
I'm
not
out.
silicone. All right. So I do recommend that one. Okay. Now, if you want to go like a step up from that, the one that I'm using right now that I actually think is the best one that I have is this one right here. This one is called the HyperX. You can see it says right on it. HyperX.
Oh, name brand.
Foam wrist rest. This one also has a rubberized bottom, so it sticks to, whatever surface that you want to have it on, okay? It's very lightweight, and it has a cooling gel on the inside.
Another one of those terms that they love to use in marketing in this space, this office-style space, cooling gel. You just add cooling gel to anything, DSP's going to buy it. It's right up his alley, brother. It sounds sophisticated and advanced. It sounds like it uses some sort of technology. This is like Therm Tech or whatever the fucking clothes he was wearing was. I can't even recall the name of. You guys know.
Okay. And it's a very stretchy, smooth top. You see how stretchy that material is?
So shit, it's got a foreskin on it.
Is when you put your wrist on it, it feels like your wrist is going into a pillow.
Yeah, Uniqlo.
Really does.
Thank you, Wolverine doll. Yeah, it's like the Therm Tech Uniqlo.
It's also cooling gel, meaning I'm not kidding. It feels cool to the touch as you use it. I used this all last night for Call of Duty. It was the best wrist rest I've ever used for anything in my life. It was incredibly comfortable. It was cooling to the touch. I never even built up a sweat on my wrist, which normally I did on the others. This one never built up any sweat because it's a fabric on top of cooling gel underneath. It was so good.
Is that why? Is it because it's a fabric on top and a cooling gel underneath? Like, is that... He just kind of comes to these conclusions and says these things after one use, by the way. He used this wrist rest one time for Call of Duty literally last night and has come to the conclusion that this is fantastic. He's going to highly recommend it. You will never sweat on this mouse or on this wrist rest in your entire life because of one time use that he did. And this was his personal experience. Maybe Call of Duty just wasn't getting hot and heavy last night. Maybe he wasn't trying as hard. Maybe the ambient temperature in the room was just a little bit lower, and therefore his wrist didn't sweat. But DSP's one-time use is enough to write this little review and recommend it to people. That's absolutely insane. I can't even imagine giving a take on something you use one time.
This 100% I recommend. Now, I'm sure there's other brands as well. I just happen to buy the HyperX one. But this is probably, out of all these I tested, the best one I've ever used. So this is my top-of-the-line pick right now. Now, I do have one more I'm going to test.
Which, by the way, that HyperX wrist rest there is $23 on Amazon. Well, $22.99. I don't want to... I don't want to add in that extra cent there, but yeah, $22.99 for that HyperX wrist rest. We've already spent an insane amount of money, and I didn't even tell you how much the bread wrist rests that we have cost. Those are $13. So we already purchased those. Those were already in the house. That was Cat's idea, or so he claims. So anyway, we've got, what, $60, $70 worth of fucking wrist rest just over here, or just right now here alone? That's crazy.
Just was on back order. And
$70 worth of wrist
rest. So when I get
rest.
that one, I might give you my opinion on that one too. That's also like an official gaming peripheral brand that I want to try. But definitely, I love the HyperX wrist rest. Okay? There you go. Now, in regards to my wrist rest, this is a little bit different. And the reason I say that is because unlike the keyboard, okay, when you're using a mouse to game, you need something that's going to give you support, but also needs to be kind of maneuverable. Because think about it. As you're playing with this mouse, you're moving it all over your desk. You basically need to have something that's going to move with it. Because if not, then you have to reposition. And I've definitely seen that be an issue. So I have a whole bunch of different ones that I try.
You mean you have to pick the mouse up? I think most people pick their mouse up when they play video games or type. Even if you're just browsing around on your webpage, probably pick your mouse up a couple times, move your wrist. I don't think that's all that like different than anything else. Now, I haven't said this yet, but I'm not a wrist rest enjoyer. I've experienced some in office settings, like at a workplace, or been to a friend's house and he has one. I don't particularly care for them. I don't really deem them necessary. I'm a utilitarian in that way. I'm not gonna buy this bullshit that I don't think I need. My wrists never hurt from playing video games, and if they do, if my wrists do hurt from playing video games, really should be a sign to just get up and go do something else. Now, of course, the guy can't afford that luxury. This is his job after all. But even then, I don't believe in wrist rests. I think personally, I think they're a little limp-wristed, and that's of course pun intended. I think they say something about you, but
for the mouse,
that's just me being a hater. Don't take that personally.
And although the wood does give some really solid support, it just got sticky. As I started playing, I was like, oh, I don't like that. It's just sticking too much. So I ended up not liking the wood whatsoever. Okay? So first off, the most basic one you can even get for a mouse is literally this. It's a bag of beads. All right?
Bag of beans.
You can get this anywhere. You can get this at office
Somebody
store,
was selling, someone was asking if DSP wanted to buy 3 beans that turn into a beanstalk in chat a minute ago. He bought an actual bag of beans. So you got a chance. You just have to set the price at, I believe this one specifically, Brandon All, is $14.39 on Amazon. So if you sell him those beans for a little under that, because of course you're only selling 3, you do have a chance of getting him to purchase it. So go ahead and pitch that to him.
It's probably under $20. I think this one I got at like Office Depot for like $12 or $15 or something like that. Okay. To be honest with you, this is really good. This is actually really comfortable. Okay.
Yeah, cornhole bag. And that's really what it is, isn't it?
Some of them come with like a rubberized bottom, some don't.
Shout out all my cornhole enjoyers. Real Midwesterners know.
That's not bad at all. It's very comfy. It's like having a pillow under your wrist and, you know, pretty maneuverable. However, the problem with this wrist rest, I know because I've used these before, okay? The problem with this wrist rest is very simple. It's not durable at all, all right? This particular wrist rest will wear out quickly. What ends up happening is when you put your hand on this every day, just naturally sweat and skin start to sink into it, all right? Absorb into it, literally, because it's just cloth and beads. So within like a month or two, this will already start to discolor, and actually it'll start to wear out, and it won't be as effective.
Within a month or two? Yeah, replace it every 2 months? What? That, like, again, that's insane. There's people in the offices where I work that have fucking these bean wrist rests, and they've had them forever. The whole time I've worked there, multiple years, they use the same fucking wrist rest. But DSP is saying that you have to you have to replace them every 2 months, or the fabric starts to go. The beans start to absorb all of the moisture from your sweat. That's just not fucking normal, man. That is actually a health condition you should probably go get looked at. The hypo something or other. I'm not coming up with anything creative. Thank you, Val Raven, for the 5, saying this is high to low and medium and Asus ROG premium deluxe tangy robust gaming cyanide pill. Well, again, if you price it right, you've got enough adjectives on there and a name brand. DSP will purchase. Absolutely guaranteed. Said it. I mean, again, I think you pitch it. I think you make your dollar.
Is good. And I've had these many times, and if you're going to use this, it's a good option.
Or the 5, Val Raven. I appreciate it.
Like every 2-3 months, you end up having to like buy a new one. If you're okay with that, great. But, you know, most people don't want to have to buy a wrist rest every few months. They just want to have something that's going to last for a long time.
Especially not $15 a piece. Every 2 months, spending $15 on a fucking glorified bean bag.
Good short-term solution. But it's definitely not something for lengthy gameplay or something you're going to have in your setup forever. You're going to have to keep replacing it, okay? So I recommend it. I do like it, and it's a very viable solution. It just doesn't last, all right? Now, they're pretty, versatile options when it comes to mouse wrist rest. I've seen a bunch, okay? One kind would be just standard memory foam. Again, you've seen the Cloud. I didn't pull it out of the closet, but I had one that looked just like this. That's a Cloud. That's for the mouse instead of just
they came in a combo
keyboard.
pack.
It's pretty much exactly the same situation. It'll give you some support, but sadly, it's not good enough for competitive gaming. Your wrist starts to get uncomfortable. And also, here's another thing, particularly with the mouse, okay? When you start to use it for extended periods of time, it flattens, and it's not giving you the support anymore. So it'll work for like an hour, and after an hour, all of a sudden you'll notice, it's not supportive anymore. It's because you flattened it.
Right.
And the memory foam doesn't have a chance to come back up because you keep using it.
Works.
So it's not as good. So I don't recommend the basic memory foams ones. The memory foam ones are just not very good.
But some people like that. Like, you could say the same thing about like a bed. Like, some people enjoy memory foam, some people don't, because you kind of like sink into it and it doesn't provide the same like cushion or comfort as you sink down into it. Like, you could. Why is he pig-splaining memory foam to people as if it's some sort of new concept? This is like
for gaming, again, in my opinion. Okay, they're good for typing, not for gaming.
It's
I wouldn't
just
recommend
insane.
One of the memory foams.
This guy's a fucking maniac.
Okay? So what about other options? Well, for example, what about something like this? This one is also known as cooling gel. This is
that's cooling gel
that
too.
Makes this one I got off Amazon, and it's a contoured design. As you can see, it almost looks like 2 butt cheeks. Right, it's like the butt cheeks rest.
Very funny, by the way.
It's rubberized on the bottom, so it sticks in place. Or no, rubberized has that like silicone like shine to it, so it sticks in place. It's comfortable. Okay, it is comfortable, and because it has this gel, this cooling gel, your wrist actually will not feel like warm or sticky. Okay, however,
we love cooling gel. All my homies love cooling gel. Also, this is $9.50 on Amazon. In case you were willing to throw out a tenner, it's got the cooling gel.
Using it for
I know
a
that's
while,
what you're in the market for.
I didn't like the level of support it gave my wrist. I felt like it wasn't supporting my wrist enough. And actually, after using this for like a half an hour, my wrist actually started to get sore. So even though it seems comfy, it doesn't give the level of support as this HyperX. And in fact, just to give you a comparison.
I'm sorry. Let me run that back. After a half hour, his wrist is sore from using a mouse. This is fucking like Wings tier complaining about being uncomfortable while PC gaming. Like, your hands hurt, Wings. DSP's wrists hurt from just holding a mouse. Yeah, actual atrophied wrists. Like, bro, it's always it's not a joke, but we joke about how DSP could never actually work a job because he couldn't like stand that long. He couldn't do a physical laborious task for as long as it would be required to do a job. He can't even hold a fucking mouse on his desk for 30 minutes without complaining about aching and pain. This is the type of shit your grandparents complain about. Anyway, Jordan Fadeaway with the 5, saying the only thing I learned from this segment is that he is a creature from another dimension, cursed with acidic gouty touch. This is an Elden Ring boss, Miyazaki. Yes, he is actually a creature. Maybe even from the Black Lagoon. I don't fucking know where he's from. They say Connecticut, but I'm not buying it. He's from another dimension. I'm convinced. No human being is this way.
And actually, after using this for like a half an hour, my wrist actually started to get sore. So even though it's
a half hour,
it doesn't give the level of support as this HyperX. And in fact, just to give you a comparison,
the Gout Lagoon is actually the creature from the Gout Lagoon is a better.
The HyperX is like almost twice as thick as this mouse wrist rest. So that's why the HyperX just gives you way more support. It's just much better. So that is a better product in my opinion. While this one is just kind of flat and it doesn't really do that much. All right. So honestly, I didn't really like that one. Okay. I was looking then after that for ones that were more contoured. And I got a product here, and to be honest, I forgot what the name of it is, and I looked, and it doesn't even have a name on it, okay? But this one is an actual contoured memory foam wrist rest, and the way this one is built is that it's actually supposed to fit your actual wrist design. It's supposed to be ergonomic so that you can actually game with it.
Supposed to fit your wrist design. I just say he's talking like an alien. He's acting as though you were, engineered in such a way where your design is this circumference and it has this level of contour. And it's just the words that he's choosing to, and I know what he means, but the words he's choosing to use are so odd.
And it will not give you pain and actually supports circulation in your wrist. Okay?
Oh, fuck. I didn't even think of that, guys. These wrist rests are supposed to be supporting the circulation. All the other ones, he didn't mention that in. So now I'm under the assumption, since he didn't bring it up, that I'm just going to be losing all blood flow and circulation to my hands as I game. This kind of sounds like the best one so far, then.
So this one, I actually found, did give me way more support when I was gaming. All right? However, again, it wasn't perfect. Okay? It just wasn't. It was kind of like,
nothing ever is.
And as I was doing it, all of a sudden I wanted to move. This one kind of like sticks in place the way that it works because it actually has rubberized bottoms again. And because it kind of sticks in place, you can't really adjust it. Like if you're playing, you're like, oh, I need to readjust, and we get stuck. Like, oh, crap. And it wasn't that good for fast move. Like, let's say someone's running in the room with Call of Duty and you need to adjust your shot on the fly really fast. You go, oh, let me go. Oh, my wrist is stuck. And then you couldn't get your shot. So
you increase the DPI. Like that's actually just the answer. You play on a higher sensitivity so that you don't have to whip your entire fucking arm around. Just an idea. I do like that by doing that, though, he demonstrates that just merely moving a little bit on his desk shakes the entire fucking thing, camera included. Very cool. A very stable style desk we've got.
Even though this one is more ergonomic and it's comfy for your wrist, I would recommend this as someone who's at a desk all day working in an office and absolutely needs to have good support and you don't want your wrist to get sore. But this is not good for gaming because it doesn't really move for shots, okay? So after all of this, all right, you may say, oh my God. So did you ever find a good one for the mouse? Like you just showed us.
Oh, sorry. That wrist rest, the contoured, I was going to say circulation style wrist rest there that was designed for your wrist design specifically. I couldn't find a non-branded version on Amazon. I could only find a branded version, but it was $18.99. So well, that's the number I'm going to go with. That is a $19 wrist rest designed exclusively for offices, I guess. Gaming is a no-go on that bad boy. Again, in case anybody's in the market, I'm breaking it down.
4 different ones. I did. All right. And this, I swear to you, this is not a product placement. This is not me getting paid. This is not a plug at all. I saw this one and I was like, I can't believe this would work because it looked silly to me. All right. This is called the Delta Carpio 2.0. Delta Carpio, Carpio 2.0.
This definitely looks, he calls it a mouth guard. It definitely looks like orthodontist. It looks orthopedic inspired. It does look like a mouth guard or something akin to. He's not wrong.
All right. You might say, what the hell is that? What is it? It looks like a mouth guard or something. Dentures, right? You're right. It does look weird, doesn't it? Okay. I'm going to show you what this is. On one side, the top, this is very soft and rubberized. This is meant to touch your skin, and it's designed to be very comfortable, especially in gaming situations where maybe you have a sweaty wrist. It's actually meant to handle that.
It's,
but on the bottom,
this was designed for gout-style creatures, and this is why it's his favorite. It had his specific creature design in mind this time around.
It is actually a very shiny plastic. I'm trying to get the camera to catch it, but it's not really catching it right now. Yeah, it's
Who
really
cares?
Not. Basically, on the bottom, it's almost like, how can I say, laminated? Oh, you can see it now. There, see, it's shiny. The bottom is shiny and laminated. So here's what happens. As long as you're using a mouse pad or a desk mat, which I'm using, and actually I'm going to talk about the desk mat in a minute, too, because I recommend that. You put your hand down on top.
Just recommend buying every fucking thing possible, bro. Just go on Amazon, put it all in your cart, put it on credit, and just purchase it all, dude. Fuck it. Who cares?
This. Get your hand on your gaming mouse. And now for standard gameplay, you're like this, but if you need to move, it moves with your hand.
Whoa.
It actually glides naturally all over your desk. And unlike some of the other mouse wrist rests, it feels natural and it's incredibly lightweight and it moves everywhere you need it to be. All right? It's insanely comfortable. At first, you might think, no, it's not. That looks silly, right? No, I'm not kidding. It's insanely comfortable. It's ridiculously comfortable. I used it last night for Call of Duty. I had zero pain in my wrist. My wrist never sweat. That's another thing because of its design, because it has this space between.
Once again, this was a one-time use experience that he had, and here he is recommending it to you, which is made even crazier by the fact that this is $39.90 on Amazon. This is almost $40 whole, and he's used it one time, and he's shilling it to you right now. That's very robust. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2, saying those moobs spawned from his love of BPA plastics. Someone earlier said that he's more BPA than human at this point, and I tend to agree. All of the shit that he surrounds himself with, all the signal waves from all the remotes and all the fucking lights from the RGB, like, yeah, he is a synthetic style man at this point. Everything about him is fake and ruined by industry. Very cool, very robust. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2. I appreciate it.
Your wrist won't actually sweat using this thing, okay? And I was able to get very fast, quick shots in Black Ops 7 last night using this thing, and it was like the best I've ever had. However, the catch is you need to be using a pad. It needs to have a fabric under it because this lacquered like bottom, this like laminated bottom needs to be on.
Is it lacquered or is it laminated? Those are not the same thing. But that then turns this $40 wrist rest. If you don't have a mouse pad, you now have to go and buy a fucking mouse pad. And it's not just enough to buy a mouse pad. You would have to buy one of these extra large fucking desk covering mouse pads like he's going to shill to you in a minute. Which, by the way, those aren't necessarily cheap either.
Smooth surface to glide around like that. And it glides perfectly on this surface. But
yeah,
if
you need
just
a desk
using it on like
pad.
a desk, like wood, it probably will stick. So you've got to get a mat to use it on. But if you do, this is super good. Okay? Super good. No exaggeration. I absolutely loved using it last night and was very pleased because it's not cheap. If I remember, this is like $40 or 30 something. Seriously, this piece of plastic is like 30 something dollars. But man, from that initial session of using it last night,
$39.90.
I absolutely loved it. I felt like it was like ideal for the gaming situation. So it's, designed to fit a wrist. It's designed to scoot around and it works great. Okay. So
you guys are hating on his outlet setup here. I don't see a problem with this. What's wrong? What, you're not allowed to have like 10 devices plugged into one outlet? What are you talking about? Is this not okay? Is this a fire hazard? Come on, guys. This looks totally cool and robust. What the fuck?
Delta Carpio 2.0, I think it's called. I absolutely love it. So after testing all of these different things, beads, yeah, they're good, but they wear out. Memory foam, it's just not good for support for gaming, in my opinion. Wood, well, it's supported, but the problem is you sweat when you use it, and your wrist sticks to it, and now it's crappy, and it's sticky. It's not very good. What about ergonomics? Well, ergonomics work, except they don't move, because it's meant to stick to the surface. I recommend this guy. That's the best thing right now from gaming mice, in my opinion. And
that's the best thing right now. So inevitably there could be something even better, which I guess you could say about everything. But DSP is gonna shield this to you for $40 right now, so that inevitably something can be better even than that, and then you'll have to purchase that as well, as like the consumer pay pig that you are.
And I'll let you know,
Sound good?
obviously, as I use it more, my thoughts if they change or whatever. But I think that's amazing. Like, seriously. And then, oh, and one other recommendation, because you can see it now. Basically, I got full-sized desk mats for both of my sides of my L-shaped desk here. These desk mats are awesome, okay? The one that I'm using now, it's the Corsair XXL desk mat. And as you can see, it goes all the way to the edge of my desk. It covers all the way.
And this is a small nitpick. This is a small gripe that, of course, DSP falls for every time. But he has to buy the Corsair, mouse desk fucking pad or whatever instantly. He can't just buy no name, nondescript, no branding desk mat that would be like $10 fucking cheaper. But it has to be Corsair. It has to be the gaming brand, despite not actually owning. I was going to say any other Corsair peripherals, but I believe his chair is a fucking Corsair chair, because of course it is. He's got the gaming chair, guys. It's just really obnoxious. I hate a mixed match peripheral, and I hate a bozo that has to buy gaming brand shit. Thank you, NWO News, for the 5, saying the new detractor meme is that I'm going to burn down my house. I don't overload my outlets with plugs. That's never happened. You no-load loser dunces. I could actually see that segment. I believe that. 100%, I believe that. And then we would have the footage, like right now.
I'll show you.
Thank you, NWO News, for the
all the
5.
way down, all the way across, all the way this way. See how long it is? We're still going. It actually goes underneath, and my camera won't even go far enough to show you how long it goes, but it goes further. This is actually my monitor mount here. It goes past that. It actually has my Yeti mic here. It has my Roland bridge cast. This thing is huge, okay? I love it because it's cushioned, so you can use it as, say, a coaster. Like, I have my drinks and stuff. Like, watch. Here's my thermos. Perfect. I put mugs there. I put everything on it. It's great. Also, it's water resistant. Meaning, for example, if I were to spill something on here, it does not absorb. It beads on top. So if you're drinking and you have a spill, you have time to go grab the paper towels and dab it up before it soaks all over your setup.
Dab it up.
You know, you're using a regular desk, you spill something, you got a huge mess on your hands. This allows you to clean quickly. Okay? So I strongly recommend it. It basically eliminates the need ever for a mouse pad. Also, it allows keyboards and things to stick securely. All right, I love that. And it's cushioned. It looks nice. Like, this particular model is one that has a design on it, but you can get. So
you can buy an XXL mouse pad here. No name, no brand, for $8. You are the only XXL mouse pad I'm seeing for Corsair is $16.99. So we are paying double for this super cool and robust gray design with the Corsair logo on it.
Them usually in all kinds of different designs.
Great.
As you can see, this
Once
one's supposed
again,
to look like
that's
metal.
like an entire meal if you're cheap about it.
You know, logo here. As you can see, it's on my chair. Well, it's also on the pad there. Okay.
Gives a fuck, dude.
So,
just spend all the money.
Pretty cool.
Easy come, easy go.
Hopefully, me going through all this stuff for the last half hour, if you're someone who's building an office and you're looking for a setup and you have questions, hopefully this will help answer those questions, because this is stuff that I figured out, you know, on my own. There's not a lot of information out there about this. There's people who review them against each other, but I've never really seen the in-depth analysis I just gave. Instead, it's just kind of like, well, it was comfy and cooling, you know, 7 out of 10 or whatever. But I wanted to give you a breakdown of all the stuff that I've been testing to let you know.
Is that not what he just did? Does he think that he did anything more than what he just described? It's comfortable. It's not comfortable. It's cooling. It makes me sweaty. It doesn't move. Like, those, he didn't even give them fucking ratings. He just compared them to each other, said he did or didn't like things, and then goes, yeah, okay, here's the next one. Like, he didn't even give a proper number. You couldn't hear it, but I was covering my face in disappointment.
Exactly what I think about all of it. Okay? So, there you go. Hopefully that'll help you, especially, again, if you're someone like me who maybe you don't upgrade off.
And that's so jarring, by the way, the fucking camera snapping to his gouty little skull. Absolutely jarring. Insane as a visual. It's almost frightening, even.
And then when you're going to do it, you want to do it all in one fell swoop like I've been doing over the last month. So hopefully some of this information helps you to make some informed decisions on some of this stuff.
Yeah,
okay?
Hopefully this helps somebody, though.
I just, like, I don't get this at all. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Oh, it looks nice, you know. And even the logo is like a bearded man. Like, oh, look, a man of the forest who made his wrist rest out of wood. Well, good for you. But did you actually use it? Because when you use it, it gets all sticky and not comfortable. Like, why would I want to use this? You can even see this. You can see it. Look.
A ton of reviews on this, by the way. A bunch of them claiming that it's the best wrist rest they've ever used. Of course, you cannot. I seen it earlier, and it's true. You cannot trust Amazon reviews. Of course, they're botted, they're paid for, yada yada yada. More schizo posting on my behalf, but to pretend like no one's ever used this for an extended period of time and that everyone is going to have this issue is fucking crazy.
You can see the smudges from having your skin on it, and you know that what's going to happen is after you use it, you're going to wear the stain off the wood because you're rubbing it with skin every day. There's going to be oils and sweat and things on there. I just don't understand it. Everyone swore to it online. I'm like, oh, I just don't like it at all. But anyway, hopefully that helps you guys. All right, if it doesn't, it's fine. But I wanted to do a segment on it.
If it doesn't, it's fine.
Research.
I just wasted all of your fucking time. Who cares about that? I don't value your time.
So now I've officially reviewed
dumbass
tech in the USA. There you go.
Got to get in the review tech jab, of course. So with all that being said, the sister channel, of course, Cloudbreaker came through with the 2. Big ups, appreciate it, saying this dude is the biggest mark to ever live. Absolutely. And somebody, I don't have it because I didn't clip this, of course. I was being lazy and I just downloaded an already made clip. After he did this segment, somebody came through and told him that wrist rests don't actually help support your wrist. They just make you atrophy because you don't build up the strength in your wrist, in which he had no response. He just accepted the money. And somebody else called him a mark. And I'll actually go see if I can find it. Yeah, I'll go see if I can find it while we do something else. But somebody called him a mark, and then he lashed out at them. So I appreciate your 2. I'll try and find that clip. Thank you. And moron of the internet with the 5 came through saying we won't be laughing when he's hailed as a pioneer in the field of wrist rest journalism. And you know what? You're right. You're right. And people are going to leave him behind. And there's going to be all of these other wrist rest journalists out here that make it big and profit way more than he ever did. And lowly Phil is going to be over here seething about how no one was doing it before him. And it's an industry, like you said, that he pioneered and gets no credit for. None of us will be laughing, except for all of us that laugh at his current state now, where he claims that's the case. But of course, I agree for the 5. I appreciate it. Moron of the internet. Sorry, I didn't mean to ascribe you a religion of Mormonism. Now, with all of that being said, again, there are 10 wrist rests, I believe. Let me count them. Okay, if you separate, I lied. If you separate the sets, of the keyboard wrist rests and the mouse wrist rests, you're actually looking at 12 fucking wrist rests in this house. There's 10 if you don't separate the sets. Anyway, with all of that calculated, if you do not include the ones that he already owned, that being the Cloud and the Bread, you're looking at $167.12 just on this segment alone, where we bought shit to review it and tell you about it. With current day Amazon prices that I could personally find myself. If this isn't entirely accurate, don't act as though it's gospel. There might be other numbers, but this is what I calculated this morning. $167. Now, if you include the wrist rests that he already owned, because I don't know why you wouldn't. It seems weird to buy wrist rests when you already have one, but whatever. He has $193 worth of wrist rests sitting in that house right now. And that's just crazy to me. $193 of fucking wrist rests, in which you could only use realistically 2 at a time. But of course, he has 2 mice and 2 keyboards because he's a very robust content creator. So even 4 at a time. $193 is absolutely an insane amount of wrist rests to have, if you ask me personally, which I think you did because you're here. Absolutely fucking wild. And that's the end of our wrist rest segment. Like I said, I'm going to go and try and find the I have to search the transcript, of course. What's going on, everybody? Fucking date was this? Tuesday. Anyway, I'll pull up the next clip while I look for this, and you won't hear it. So our next segment is of course somebody had to inform DSP of the lip smacking count, and he had to respond. I don't really know what else is in this clip because once again I was being lazy. And Snort Hogan returned, cutting clips, big ups, of course. So this is, I just titled this Lip Smacks and Cope. So it's those things. Let's find out. Let's watch it together. We'll be like on an adventure. We'll both be discovering it.
That color drives me insane. Is it supposed to look like that? No, do you want to know what this color is supposed to look like? You ready? I'll show you.
Oh, we have to demonstrate how our collar is supposed to look because you fucking idiots don't understand how clothing works.
That's legitimately what this sweater is supposed to look like. It's supposed to be, I guess, I don't know what they call it. It's a mock turtleneck or whatever. And
the audio gets better, I promise.
I like it.
Doesn't sound like this the whole time.
Like that. But when I wore it like that last year when I first bought it, everyone basically said, that looks terrible. Oh, you have a button? You're not supposed to have your collar button like that. So basically I said, all right, forget it. And I unbuttoned it like that. So there you go. Like, either way is fine with me. You know, I don't really give a crap. But people were basically complaining when I first bought this sweater last year. So there you go. Oh, no, it has no RGBs. It
is a really shitty and uncomfortable looking collar. As an individual myself, I don't like when the collar like rubs up on my neck that high, and maybe even touches the bottom of my chin. I personally don't fuck with that, and I think it makes him look pencil necked. It makes him look like a goober. I think that's an undeniable fact. I don't think anybody can argue. It does look like female clothing as well. Definitely female style that he's got going there.
Stuff I have, it has RGBs. All the best Razer stuff has no RGBs. This is the best like Razer controller. This is one of the best Razer mice. They don't have RGBs because they don't mess around. They're like, nah, it's serious business. We don't need RGBs on that shit. If you want RGBs, you go for like Logitech, see? Like Logitech has all the fancy RGBs on their stuff. That's what you go for. Someone tipped $2 and says, a YouTuber has confirmed doing a documentary that will expose people who orbit famous YouTubers and the economy surrounding content theft and farming. Thoughts on a detractor expose? Sounds interesting.
Of course that sounds interesting to DSP. That's what he's been begging for since June the King did the doc on him. DSP has always wanted somebody to make an hour-long expose documentary style video on the people that don't like him. He wants them to get their comeuppance so fucking bad. And it just doesn't happen because, of course, it's not nearly as interesting as the guy himself is. The train wrecks are far smaller and far, again, just less interesting. There's far less to say about them. Usually it's just spurgs blowing up online. I mean, you can only say that so many different ways, I guess. But that's the thing with the guy is he's a spurg that blows up on the internet every single day, daily, for everyone to watch.
It was 2 years ago, well, I guess a year and a half ago, right? Where I had a big expose documentary done on me by June the King. I had reacted to the entirety of the thing, and then I had June as a guest on my show. And during that interview, I said to June, wouldn't it be fascinating if instead of actually microanalyzing the people that people are saying are lol cows and basically just talking about them for 4 hours, instead you take a look at these crazy obsessed communities around them. People that orbit them and literally every waking moment clip them, stalk them, do what they can to interfere with their lives to have this monetizable content. Like, wouldn't that be more interesting?
No, it wouldn't. Because, again, you're just going to wind up saying, there's people on the internet that spend all day on the internet looking into things, and then they post up information that they find out. Okay. Sounds good, bro. I already knew that. Everybody already knew that. What else is there to say? Now, not to get too far away, but I did find that clip. So I'm going to pull it up for you of somebody shitting on the guy about his fucking wrist rest nonsense. So hang on. We're going. It's going. Wow, that looks like shit. Hang on, let me fix it. This is obviously robust. It will be robust and meaningful, and you'll be like, wow, Atlas, thank you for pulling that up. That's so funny. I've never seen anyone insult a guy before in the same way. I can't believe you took the time to find that for us. Thank you so much. I promise you'll say that. And it will. How do I not? All right, hang on. I'm just gonna keep playing the guy for a second.
See what kind of person would do that.
I'm gonna crash
he
out.
was against it. He said, no, I don't think that's interesting. I don't think that that would be something that people would watch. I disagree. I think that the real lolcows in this situation become the community surrounding the person, because the person is just trying to get by. Maybe they're nuts, or maybe they do wacky, weird things, but they're just trying to get by and have a normal life, despite the fact that maybe it's publicized on the internet. But it's these weirdo, obsessive communities that form.
Is that all DSP's trying to do, though? He's trying to get by and have a life while he's like raking in a lot of money. Believe it or not, we love to talk about how DSP's down bad and he's making $0 or whatever, but like he still manages to live in his snort fort. He still manages to live in the gated community in a very expensive part of the country. So like he has to have enough money to continue to do that, and that's a lot more money than a lot of his fans, I'm sure, have. God damn it. This fuck ass audio. I'm about to lose it. I'm about to go ape shit. I'm about to. Yeah, I really just don't have it. That's wild. That's crazy. How about that?
And he said,
all right, here we go.
Philip the Mark Burnell, if you make a worthless statue or add a face to a shirt, he'll overpay. Add the word gamer or performance and he'll buy too. In what universe is that the case?
This one right now. He like demonstrated it that entire mouse wrist rest segment, the entire time, every single thing. He was just constantly throwing out the adjectives. He couldn't hold them within himself. He didn't know another way to describe any of the things without using all of the marketing terms that they lambasted him with. But now we're gonna act confused.
What gamer shirt or statue have I bought in the last 10 years?
And now we've got to set a parameter around it. Now it's in the last 10 years. You're not allowed to talk about the things that happened in the past. You can only talk about things that happen in this arbitrary set amount of time that I have decided right here, right now. Everything before this weird line that I made up is off limits, I guess.
I cold stopped buying statues.
Cold
and
stopped.
actual gamer shirts when I moved
He went
out
cold
here in
turkey
2014.
on buying
It's
statues.
been over 11 years.
And yes, you guys are pointing out, yeah, the Bison hoodie, the Lego Game Boy, the fucking Mario Yoshi Lego that he bought. He still buys all of this shit just because it has a gaming character that he enjoys on it, because it's gaming related. It's, of course, he's just playing fucking stupid.
Anyway, thanks for $5.
Yeah, anyway.
There you go.
Dumb idiot McDumbass. Anyway, I wanted to show you that, of course. It was important and robust and meaningful, obviously. Back to what we were talking about.
Around them that I think are way more
trolls.
fascinating of
Sorry.
a tale.
I forgot.
So, hey, if someone's making a documentary on that, maybe I'd be interested in watching it, you know? All right. Well, thanks for $2 there.
Gotta take a big sip, of course. That water bottle, and I've had one of those, by the way, those iron flask bottles. Okay, it just looks gargantuan when he pulls it up and sips off of it. They don't have to be that big. They don't look that big in real life, but there's something about the way he does it. Maybe it's the camera. Maybe it's just his odd proportions as a real individual. It looks fucking huge.
I'm smacking. It's funny because the detractor meme has now been lip smacking. It's not lip smacking. It's my tongue. It's my mouth. It's basically when I'm talking and I swallow. Or for example, yesterday I sneezed. And when I sneezed, Niagara Falls. What does that mean? I have postnasal drip. I've had it my whole life. So if my nose tickles or I sneeze.
He's been a content creator for 17 years, and we are still explaining postnasal drip. We've been explaining post-nasal drip for at least a decade in a row. Every single time that he's snorting, or that it gets brought up that he snorts into the microphone, or he sounds congested or mucusy, at least a decade's worth of explanation, and we're still doing it. Everybody is always brand new, and they never remember or retain any information. That's genuinely what he thinks of his audience. It's insane. I can't believe it.
Or whatever. Basically, I get gross, you know, phlegm and yuck dripping down the back of my throat. And the only real way to clear it out is to like go snorting and stuff. Now I'm muting that now. I have the drop button, so I mute it when I do it. But basically, my mouth was all screwed up as a result of it too. So as I was talking yesterday, I was smacking my lips, but I wasn't. What I was doing is actually my tongue and my mouth. It's going to rehydrate basically before I talk.
Okay, is that it? He says this like it's supposed to be any better. Ascribing it to mouth sounds instead of lip smacking makes the difference, as if it makes it any less obnoxious or intrusive or disgusting. And that's just not the case. Who gives a shit what you called it? You could have called it ass sounds for all I give a shit. The problem is that it's on the microphone and it doesn't need to be. That it's a audible noise that no one wants to hear. I don't really care what's making the noise or why it's happening.
It was prominent during the earlier stream, like the podcast. I was doing it a lot. These idiots are, again, they hyperfixate on everything, so they've started counting the smacks, they're calling them. Even though they're not lip smacks, my lips aren't involved at all. It's like a mouth smacking.
They're absolutely involved. You have to close your mouth in order to do the weird, gross tongue noise. So, I mean, you could, whatever. We're playing semantics here, and I don't know why I'm getting dragged into it.
Whatever they want, but that's their new meme. It's hilariously stupid, and they're brain dead. Anyway, the other thing that was in question
is a cope.
What's going on with Call of Duty, right? Because Call of Duty now, I'm playing with all of my new equipment, some of which we're about to look at right now, actually, because like I said, we're gonna have this segment where I look at this tech and stuff. So I'm doing well. Last night I played.
Oh, that's what we just did, by the way. We're watching this out of order because I'm a fucking goober and I labeled things wrong today. But spoiler, we already did that.
It went really well. I had one of my best sessions ever, for the record. I think there was only one match where I had a negative kill death ratio. Every other match I broke even or I was above. I was positive. That never happened. I think that's a direct result of...
That's embarrassing to say, too, by the way. As a gamer myself, as somebody who's played a Call of Duty once or twice, only once or twice, that's super embarrassing. If it's a rarity or it never happens that you break positive, you need to uninstall the game ASAP. Like, granted, not everybody can go positive. If it worked that way, the game just wouldn't function. That's not how things can play out. But it's embarrassing if you never go positive, uninstall immediately.
No input lag, better peripherals with this mouse and keyboard, and other things that I've improved, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I did really well. In fact, here's how it went with support. We had about $60 of support, and then all of a sudden in the last hour, 2 people did a whole bunch of super chats. One guy dropped like $140 or something like that, and another guy did like a $65 super chat.
Whoa,
and of course, the account came out of nowhere, never heard of them before. Who could they really be? Who knows, right? Not that it matters. I don't microanalyze every contribution that I get, but yeah, I more would.
He definitely does, though. He's always noting and I was gonna say taking notes, but that's the same thing. He's always actively taking notes on who is and isn't donating, who is and isn't showing up when they said that they would. He's got this dialed in. He doesn't he wants to pretend like he doesn't. He wants to act as though that's not the case, but it absolutely is. And that's why a frequent complaint that he has during these segments when he's talking about how good games did or didn't do support wise is people said that they wanted it, and then they said that they would show up, and then they didn't, because he remembers that, and he specifically remembers the names too. Out of all of the things that DSP wastes his brain activity on, that is absolutely one of them. Thank you, Dark Side Ranter, for the 5, saying, reminder, in the early explanations of the post-nasal drip, he yelled at people who asked him to mute because we were dumb kids. Well, yeah, now that we have the super robust audio equipment that he has, the audio interface, as it's called, Now that we have that, we're capable of muting the microphone for our snorts and our coughs. Completely ignore the fact that when he bought that Rode mic or that Shure microphone that he has there, that he also said that he was going to be capable of doing this because it has a mute button on top of the microphone that he could access whenever he wants, and then wound up not utilizing it. It was only once we got the audio interface that this became possible. But you're absolutely correct. Once he had to get new equipment in order to do the right thing. It's all about the equipment. Thank you, Darkside Ranter, for the 5. I am Joe Dub with the 5 saying he treats the audience like it's the 50th First Dates movie, like they're forgetting how to tie their shoes and tip the guy after every stream. And I think that's just because he has that low of an opinion on his audience. He does genuinely think they are that fucking stupid, because they kind of have to be in order for any of the things and narratives that he pushes to make sense, for all of his excuses and copes to make any sense as well. They have to be that fucking stupid. So, I mean, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm overestimating their mental capacity and their faculties. Well, maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe you're in the wrong. Thank you, Joe Dub, for the 5. And I'm Descendo. Ducendo, that's how I'm pronouncing it, for the 10. I appreciate it. Saying I actually tried to keep count of the smacks, but I lost count around 60. I was working. And that's not a job that I would put on anyone. It's like counting the begs or counting the snorts or counting the coughs or whatever. That's not a job I envy. Anybody that's willing to do that is a stronger man than me, or I guess a stronger individual. But yeah, 60 smacks is fucking insane. But they're not smacks, guys. They're hydration noises, or whatever cope he wants to go with. Whatever semantics you're willing to play.
I would more have it be that we get a good crowd of people that are all there and they like it so much that they all support it, and it's basically a massively like crowdfunded success, rather than 2 people basically supported it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to see how things go on Thursday night. I like Call of Duty right now. I'm actually enjoying myself with it, and I want to play it more and keep it in the rotation.
Enjoying one of the worst Call of Duties to date, by the way. The one infested with AI slop and laziness is the one that DSP is enjoying the most. That's so on brand for him.
We'll see. Let's see what happens. Oh, one other thing, because this actually just happened. So there's a new thing called Kick Bounties that's going on. What Kick has done is they're partnering with certain games.
I forgot about this segment.
These games are kind of doing like sponsored deals on Kick. What does that mean?
Now, what does that mean? What I mean is,
if you can complete a certain level of challenges while playing a game on Kick, you are eligible to possibly win something. For example, right now what's going on with this Kick Bounties is if you play Arc Raiders, and if you do, I think it's like 5 different kinds of drops. Like you have to drop certain areas.
God, he's so fucking slow. Come on, man. If you complete
that all on one stream and you keep your stream archived on Kick, they enter you into a contest to possibly win 500 subs.
Big ups, Panko Breadcrumbs. Enjoy your trip.
To smirk at, 500 subs is a lot of income, right? That's
a lot of income. Can't just say a lot of money. There's a lot of income.
My issue with it is that if you take a look at the actual criteria to enter the contest, it's a lot of work. It's like, so you got to drop here, you got to extract this way, and it's a lot. Like, you would have to do it all in like a stream. It would be hours of work to do it. And you do all that, that's your whole stream.
Right.
And that's just to get a chance at a sweepstakes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea is that you would, like, I don't know, enjoy making the content and entertain your audience and kind of not get them involved, but to get them hyped up that we're doing these challenges in the first place and that there's a potential that we could win. And it's just kind of an excuse to make the content in the first place. But of course, for DSP, this is work. Playing video games and entertaining your audience is just work. They're like, if you're not guaranteed the money, then why are we doing it in the first place? Because his audience wouldn't be interested in this. Not really.
Because that's essentially what it is. You have to complete all those criteria
Yeah,
just to get entered
exactly. Fluctuating miasma. So you do your normal stream and play a game, and you might win 500. Yeah, you might win 500 free gifted subs or whatever. That is actually the circumstances.
a sweepstakes where only one person will win. I don't like that at all. I don't. Sorry, I'm against that. Like, for me, here's what I would like. Let's say you spend 3-4 hours on a stream doing these criteria, and you're guaranteed 10 subs. We will give you 10 subs today if you do this. Fine, that sounds good to me.
Right, the guaranteed money he's interested in. It doesn't. Then it wouldn't rely. He wouldn't have to rely on being entertaining or actually drawing in an audience that wants to see him do the challenges. He doesn't want any of that. There's too much up in the air in that capacity. He wants that guaranteed money from the company specifically.
I would much rather just earn the 10 subs and have a guaranteed, reward for the work I'm putting in than do a whole stream of this for a minute chance to win because it's a sweepstakes. I don't think that's the way that bounties should be done. That's just my personal take. You can completely disagree. I'm not going to say, hey, Kick shouldn't do this, but they could do whatever they want. But just so everyone knows, that's why I'm not participating. That doesn't make sense to me.
Because it's too much work.
Effort of an entire stream to enter a sweepstakes where you have a tiny chance to win doesn't seem to make sense. If it was a guaranteed, even if it was a guaranteed small reward, I'd still probably do it. But to just have a chance makes no sense at all.
But he plays the game anyway. So again, he just doesn't want to challenge himself for money that isn't guaranteed. That's why he loved well, I guess I can't say that, but
okay, so
yeah, he just doesn't want to do something outside of his comfort zone if he's not promised money. So
that's my take.
That's all it boils down to. He needs a buy-in, you guys.
I think that's why. Maybe they'll do different bounties in the future for games I'm playing, and I would consider them. But this one for Arc Raiders, I'm not interested. Okay, I'm not going to put in. Imagine that an entire stream dedicated to doing it. I do it at the end, and it's like, okay, sweepstakes entry, you get nothing out of it. Well, what did I just waste my stream for, right? Okay. Oh, by the way, hold on. Shout out to Give Me Back My Twitter, who did a $5 super chat. He said 120 lip smacks. I already explained they're not lip smacks. My lips aren't
lip smacks,
involved at
you
all.
fucking idiot.
You just say smack. So 120 smacks.
No, shout out Smacks, Dig'em Smacks. That's some real. That's Unk cereal. If you enjoy Dig'em Smacks, you are actually an Unk, regardless of age. Sorry, I don't care if they taste good.
327 throat clears. That's just nonsense. There's no way I did 327 throat clears on any kind of a stream.
Not
because
possible.
I tell you, I mute them now. So that's just nonsense. You're actually full of crap there. And 3 belches, in case you wanted the official numbers, I would believe 3 belches because likely those all took place during gameplay where I couldn't mute it. But when I'm doing podcasting like this or whatever, I do mute it like just that.
Had to demonstrate the mute,
okay?
of course.
I am doing my best to try to become a better streamer, to try to do the drops when these things are happening so they don't bother you. I don't want these things to annoy the audience. I'm trying to get better as a content creator now that I have the equipment to do it. Previously, I didn't. Now I do. All right. But there was absolutely no way I did 327 throat clears when I am actively doing my best to try to mute them.
And Chody Taint is stealing the words right out of my mouth while I was waiting for a good point to pause. All the throat clears and shit are very clearly in the gameplay when he's not thinking about it at all and can't be bothered to take his hands off of the controller or the keyboard or whatever to actually solve the problem of the throat clears being audible. But of course, because it's not happening right here, right now, in his recent memory of today, on this specific stream at this specific moment, he can't believe you and you're just making things up. That's like you can't recall a time that he ever bought statues in the last 10 years because he arbitrarily drew the line at a point that is outside of the time frame that you were initially talking about.
While I'm talking. That sounds like baloney. All right, so there you go. Sorry about that. I don't believe you there. You know what? As we're about to head into the next segment of the show, I might as well just bring up the fact that if you enjoy my content, it would be great if you could engage and support it in some way on today's stream. And here are the ways that it goes. Number 1, if you're watching live, liking the content, hitting that like button, and or subscribing to the channel or following the channel, depending on where you're watching, helps adds engagement. It adds numbers to show how many people are following.
Thank you, Panko Breadcrumbs, for the 5.
So if you could do that, if you could like the stream.
It only took him 10 fucking years to care about the audio experience. This is true. And it's
great if we could do it,
sad.
okay.
And it's crazy that he brags about it as if this is some again new hotness, something unique exclusively to him that puts him on a level with other content creators that are infinitely more interesting or funny or entertaining, as broad as a category as that is. It's kind of crazy. Thank you for the 5.
No, I did not deny the smacks. I know the smacking is happening. Just it's not really intrusive to me. Like I've heard it. I'm like, it's not a big deal. But, you know, again, hyperfixation from some people, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you are watching right now live and you like the content,
Oh
and
my
you want to
God.
go above and beyond and directly support it, I would greatly appreciate if you could do that. The levels of support that a stream receive allow me to determine the priority and order.
Thank you, Pat Noticer, for the 1 month. His controller has rebindable buttons, and his mouse surely has thumb buttons. Can't he bind those to toggle mute? Absolutely, he could, but that would require understanding the software or that these features exist in the first place. And of course, he's not familiar with either one. He doesn't know how to use the software. He didn't even know what software his keyboard runs on the other day when he was trying to change some settings on it. Legitimately didn't know which bloatware it was on his PC. He was just opening shit. So well beyond his realm. Thank you for the 1 month, Pat Noticer.
Via one of those ways. Or if you don't want to involve yourself with either side, you can do a contribution via my PayPal. That's called a tip. And to do that, you type
Oh, we're
exclamation point
explaining
tip
tips.
into either chat.
Very
A
cool.
command will pop up to do so, and it'll explain how to do it. Thanks to
Mhm.
anyone who does that. If you're not watching live right now, if you just look at the description of the stream, that's a way to basically do a super chat, but it's now these awesome improvements and changes that I have recently, okay?
Great. Are we done?
So thank you so much in advance to anyone who supports this content. You guys are awesome, and thank you so very much, okay?
All right.
Fair enough?
Fair
Okay.
enough. Let's move on. Next
How
segment.
much should I pay roughly for all the risk supporters? About $4,000. Only about $4K invested into risk rest for this part of the segment. So hopefully we get a lot of good support on this stream because I got to try to make the money back of the $4,000 that I invested buying all these risk rests.
And of course, he couldn't give you an actual number. He couldn't properly inform you and tell you the prices of these things and tell you how much he spent. That way, if you were actually interested in any of these things, you would know about what you were looking at and actually provide information. Of course not. We have to jump to the fucking extreme instantly and make a joke out of it because, of course, we're DSP.
Give me back my Twitter did a $5 super chat, and he said, Philip the Mark Burnell.
Oh,
if
shit.
You make a worthless statue.
Oh, shit. I wasted my time earlier. What the fuck? Guys, I have egg all over my fucking face now, and I'm going to make you listen to this segment again. LOL. You're felted, you're seething, and now I'm disrespecting you.
Or add a face to a shirt.
Thank you,
He'll
Movie
overpay.
Sign, for the 1 full year
Add
as a
the word
member.
gamer
Big
or
ups.
performance, and he'll buy 2. In what universe is that the case?
In what universe, guys?
What gamer shirt or statue have I bought
In the last 10 years.
in the last 10 years?
Damn, it's like I've seen this
Actually,
before
I
or
stopped-
something.
I stopped buying statues and actual gamer shirts when I moved out here in 2014. It's been over 11 years.
Oh yeah, he was literally just showing off that stupid fucking Portal hoodie like last week, which looked completely comical on him. I forgot about that as well. I pushed it out of my brain, out of my skull, because it was just so stupid. But thank you for
Anyway,
reminding me.
Thanks for
I ate
$5. There you go. Okay, and
All right.
let's see here.
More support?
Someone tipped $1.50, says, do you feel like spending over $300 on wrist rest? I didn't spend over $300 on wrist rest. I did
No.
spend money, but it wasn't over
You
$300.
spent
It's
one-
a nice gross exaggeration.
167.
It's worth it. Don't you know that you're supposed to not use a wrist rest so you can build up your natural wrist strength?
Okay. Rebuttal. Refute this comment. Go ahead.
Do I even bother?
Yes.
no,
Please.
you know what? Thanks for $1.50. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Thanks for $1.50. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to bother.
Right.
There's no point, right?
Because he doesn't even have a response. He doesn't know anything about anything to come up with with anything that would make sense. We're just gonna pretend as though we're better than you. It's like when he was doing that stupid fucking King Snake shit, and he was like, I could say things about other people that would leave them like, wow, Phil, you're really the best at this drama stuff, and no one could ever compare because you're so cool. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't want to. And then he just fucked off. Yeah, it's totally believable, man.
I don't know why I try, because if I open my mouth and I say something intelligent, no one cares anyway. But thanks for $1.50. Okay.
Well, you don't say anything intelligent. That's the problem. We need to start there.
Well, so that's what I got for you today here on the show. In fact, just give me a second, because now my entire desk is covered in rests. I want to put these into my closet quickly. Okay, so again, I would love feedback. Did you like that segment? Do you like segments like that? Would you like to see me do more of that in the future? If I buy a new peripheral or a new thing that I'm testing for my set or my studio, would you like to know about it?
No.
Would you like to hear the stats and let me?
Even as a detractor who, like, arguably is the only person or people that are interested in DSP buying garbage shit, even as a detractor, I am not interested in his breakdown reviews of the useless shit that he's bought. I actually find it more insulting to my time than when he just rambles and prattles on about shit that I don't care about. The pretending as though he's knowledgeable about products and flaunting it in everybody's face that he's like wasting all of his money and speedrunning Bankruptcy 2, I again deem it far more insulting.
You know about my experience with it, or did you absolutely hate that and instead you just want to sit here and complain and say everything that I do in my content is bad?
Well, that's true. I want to do that part.
Anyway, you notice this time I just did it. Instead of actually presenting the idea ahead of time, like, gee, maybe I'll review some colognes. And then the entire internet says, wow, that's a bad idea. I just did it anyway. I said, fuck this. So we'll see now if you guys liked it or not, okay? Davis GTA says, honest question.
Instead of taking your guys' feedback and understanding that this isn't the type of content that you want to see from me, I decided to just do it anyway this time and waste all of your time. Isn't that a much better way for me to do it, you guys?
Question. I follow you on X. Why do you bother using the platform when all
definitely still seething about the cologne that lives rent-free in his head? The immediate shit on that he received for even suggesting a cologne review actually pisses him off every single day. Probably when he's putting it on. When he's putting on cologne to sit in a room by himself for no reason, obviously. He's probably thinking about, man, I wish I could review this fucking cologne and make some money off of it and use it as a tax write-off. But these fucking losers on the internet.
Replies or trolls. Oh, I don't see any replies.
These stinky fucks.
All right. X implemented this thing. I think it was before they were even X. I think it was when they were still Twitter. They implemented this feature. And it basically, it actually, I'm not kidding. It prompted me one day when I was tweeting. It said, we have noticed an incredible amount of harassment on your timeline. Do you want to institute this feature that turns off that content? So basically, you're able to see replies, but only replies that aren't flagged as toxic. So it looks for keywords like swears and stuff like that.
Swears and slurs.
Right now I'll post up on my X. Okay.
This is so sad, by the way. When the media company is trying to take pity on you and like I automate and block people and try and shield you from criticism themselves because they know that you're just a relentless idiot. That's really sad. That's a crazy admission, if you ask me.
And I will see if someone likes,
the toxic filter.
If someone retweets, and if someone responds. But the responses, I'm not kidding. I see like barely any. Almost never. Like right now, I have a tweet from the other day that has like 400 likes. I know it has a ton of responses. I think I've seen 3 because it literally it's just like the YouTube comment system. It files all of the abusive responses away, and I can't see any of them. So all I see on X is people who actively want to actually engage in a positive way, not shitbags. So every single person who responds to me on X, I've never seen it.
Guys, I'm actually in an insulated bubble in which I never receive any sort of negative feedback, and I don't have to respond to criticism. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so funny? Aren't I just a big Quirk Chungus style person? Don't you love me?
It's only people who are nice. People who are mean, I never see.
I never seen these meanie bobinis, but again, I don't have to.
4 years, these idiots have wasted all their time sending abusive responses to me. I've never seen one of them. I can't. I actually have no ability to see them. And in truth,
Don't
I
ask me
don't
why the
even know
audio
how to
sounds
turn
like
it
that.
off. Like I've
It's not
looked
me.
for the feature. I
It's the way the
can't
clip
find
is.
it anymore. I think when Musk bought Twitter and renamed it X, I think he like removed it, but it's still on. So like I can't turn it off even if I wanted to. I can't find the feature anywhere, but it's on. That's pretty funny.
Is that how features work? Like I'm not a web style developer. I never been back there on the back end coding or anything. But can you remove a feature and leave it on? I don't know that whatever. Who cares? He's still blocking people, so this can't even be true anyway. But
So yeah, so that's the truth. Like I don't hear or see any of the toxic shit. I don't need to. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't benefit me at all. You know, it's all harassment and trolling online anyway. None of it means anything. None of it's constructive. It's always just shitbags. You know, saying awful, terrible things. There's no point to ever seeing any of it or responding to it. It's the same as YouTube comments. When you get, 100 idiots who try to respond to everything I ever post on YouTube in a toxic way, who needs to see that shit? YouTube just
you
filters it
do,
out. So I never.
and this is where he completely lost the plot, and he did it fucking years and years and years ago. At this point, is he at some point he decided that people that he thought were giving him negative comments and were saying mean things about him and his content instantly needed to be written off and discarded, as though there wasn't any sort of validity to the things that they're saying, as if there was no sort of criticism that he should actually accept and maybe improve on, that any sort of negativity was again completely invalid. And that's just not the case. There's a lot to be garnered in the ways of information from the negativity that gets spewed about one thing or another. And he just, of course, he's not interested. Too much negativity for the guy overloads his brain or something. Thank you, NWO News, for the 5. Saying, didn't he brag about not being the moderator heavy guy anymore and claimed he turned off his comments and stopped blocking people because thick skin? Yeah, he does, or at least has rather recently advertised his own content as a better place to be now that he doesn't moderate so heavy, and that his moderators aren't even around, so it's much more lax and you can actually get away with way more in his chat now as opposed to the way that it used to be. Yeah, meanwhile, he's still got everybody apparently hidden on Twitter, doesn't see any negative style comments on YouTube, and has banned a billion goddamn people over on Kick and continues to do so on a regular basis. Of course, it's always a lie.
That's why. And
thank you for the 5, NWO News.
I like posting my schedule up there. It's a better way to get it out there rather than just the post tab of my YouTube page. And every once in a while, there's something that I have to say or something important, and I want to have a better way to air it out than just posting it on my YouTube, and X is the way to do it. All you idiots in chat, and of course it's all in the Kick chat saying I'm lying. You're all complete mouth drooling idiots.
Tell him, get him DSP.
I'm serious. Like my timeline's empty. I'll post something up. It'll say I have 400 likes. Like this post I made the other day. It says I have 400 likes on it, and it says I have no responses. Like I can't even see them.
That's not good. That's not a good thing. 400 people engaged with you and your content and have spread it to other people with their own caption and their own thoughts over it, and you don't even know what the common sentiment or caption is. You have no idea. That's not good.
This person says, you delete all the comments. You actually think I sit on my YouTube actively deleting comments? Are you insane?
Yes,
YouTube
I
has
do.
A moderation system. It auto moderates all the comments. So anything you see on my YouTube channel has already passed the filter, and there's a whole bunch of comments that sit in a queue for me to eventually look at and review, and I do probably like a couple times a week. I'll look at that and I'll approve or disapprove, but for the most part, it's all AI control. I don't do any of that.
Now, I will tell you, there, of course, is an automated YouTube-style filter that does catch, honestly, a lot of swear words, a lot of cursing, if you will. I have seen that, and me, myself, I don't go in there and I don't approve anything. Not because I don't want to, but just because you can't do it on mobile, at least not that I've seen. they don't allow you to access held comments on a mobile version, and I don't look at my fucking comments on desktop. So if you've ever been moderated and had your comment not post on a video or on a stream, you can blame Google, not me. I just don't go in there. I honestly only ever remember that it exists when DSP brings it up.
How am I blocking people on X then? How do you know to block them if you don't see the messages? What do you mean? First of all, you can't block anyone on X. It doesn't work. If you block someone on X, all that happens is you don't see their comments, but they could still comment. Like, Musk changed that, a year or two ago? So there's basically, you can't do anything with it. You can't actively block anyone. All it means is that you'll never see their comment again, but they can still comment. It doesn't prevent them from seeing your posts or commenting on them. So yeah,
is that even true? Like, I have a Twitter, but I'm not blocked by anyone. So I wouldn't even... I actually don't know.
It doesn't even work. What?
I'm so unproblematic. I'm not even banned by the guy.
Chat. Listen to this. Do you forget that you showed us your Twitter last year and P-O-A-T, you did with Allnoff the comments, ha 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 ha, busted. You showed us your Twitter last year and you
the notification kind of went. I don't know. It kind of fit the confusion, I think.
Did with Allnoff the comments. Ha 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 ha. Busted. Man, it's really hard to figure out how I've survived 17 years with this level of opposition, isn't it?
Yeah, typo means that yes, exactly. The typo means that the entire comment is invalid, of course, because DSP can decipher Jade, but not a very obvious typo, of course. And then we're gonna act as though because you mistyped on a keyboard, you're some mouth-drooling style dunce or something that can't have a reasonable thought in your entire skull because you fat-fingered on the keyboard one time. That makes sense to me, dude. I agree. Thank you, Crooked Hound, for the 5. Saying this guy has insulated and padded his life so much, I'm surprised his flesh hasn't become marshmallow. Well, kind of hasn't it? And that's why it's melting off of his skin, you see. He doesn't have central air conditioning. I got there eventually. He doesn't have central air conditioning. That's why his flesh is melting off, like you would see a marshmallow kind of melt in the sun. So, hey, there you have it. Thank you for the 5, Crooked Hound. And Cerulean 86, big ups for the 2 Canadian style, saying blocked users can't comment, but they can read posts. Okay, there you have it. See, I didn't even know that. Thank you for the information. I'm sure that you are blocked by the guy. I have no doubt.
Just be sure that your mom puts on your Velcro shoes properly before you leave the house today, okay? We wouldn't want you falling over and, landing on your head.
What's wrong with Velcro shoes, DSP? I'm sure plenty of your fans also have their mom put their shoes on for them, and they're also Velcro.
A $2 super chat.
What if Jade's wheel got caught on the shoelace when it came undone, dude? We'd have a fucking disaster.
I don't understand that. You type like you can't even formulate a sentence. And yet you're still giving me money to make fun of you more. Please continue. Like, holy moly. Oh, that's very common. Joel says there was a point even top streamers were getting Fortnite fatigue years ago, but they kept playing it anyway. That's very common. That happens in every single game genre. For example, it's been happening. Hold on.
Oh, see, he muted it, you guys.
It's been happening.
I'm skipping this segment. I hope there's something more interesting in here.
I'd always be pulling my time in a million directions, right? But the truth is, in Call of Duty, that's a different audience. And when I play Street Fighter on Friday, that's a different audience. Now, there is some crossover.
Oh, I can summarize it for you guys so that we can move on to something more robust and meaningful, of course. Okay, so people who play one game are forced to play that game forever because they don't have an audience if they play something else. But DSP was big-brained enough, his IQ was so high that he became a variety-style streamer. And he has multiple audiences that come from multiple games, so that when he plays one game, it's one type of viewer, and when he plays a different game, it's a totally different viewer. tour, and they they come in and out like on an ever growing rotation, so that he always is super popular everywhere all the time and is always a very successful businessman. That is that segment. So with that all being said, I think it's very accurate. 99% accurate. Seems like a good read to me. I'm going to take you to a different day entirely. This was Friday. Now, in case you didn't see, Thursday didn't go good. So, of course, we had to have our business meeting Friday, an impromptu business meeting Friday, because Thursday he did his top 10 most disappointing games of the year, which was honestly terrible. I think he should have kept it a video on demand style segment. I don't think he should have tried to incorporate it into his pre-stream at all. I don't think it went very well. I don't think the people were there for it. And it wasn't very interactive style as everyone is used to. And I was going to make you watch that today. Going into Friday, I was like, we're going to watch the whole top 10 on fucking Saturday, and the people are going to hate me and they're going to suffer. And we're going to talk about video games. But then he decided to have the board meeting the following day where he was so downtrodden and distraught that I just couldn't fathom wasting your time talking about video games when we could just talk about how sad he was instead, because that's so much funnier. So here is his seethe and cope the next day. Fuck, hang on, I did it again. My bad. There you go.
Everything. All right. So for the record, 2025 was a great year for me. All right, it was. 2025 was outstanding. More often than not, I was actually hitting my support goals on my streams, okay? We were doing a variety of games. Things were going pretty good. In fact, I had already explained that 2025 was actually one of, if not my best year of content creation when it comes to the level of engagement and support I was getting for about a decade, okay? So I felt this.
Now, if I was DSP, I wouldn't be admitting this. By the way, I'm a firm believer that people's finances really should never be their content, especially for DSP, who has the audience that he has and the amount of detractors that he has, yada, yada, yada. But he continues to go down this path. He continues to draw the ire of the entire internet, and then goes on to brag in their face when he does well, apparently not understanding that this only emboldens the people who hate him the most. But it kind of goes without saying.
Big positivity and resurgence and everything. And then out of nowhere, I had an interview with Asmongold that just gave me a rocket on my back for about 3 weeks. Now, the thing is, it's not the first time, and likely it won't be the last, where I got a temporary boost from having an interaction with other people on the internet. The kind of content that I do usually is not very interactive. It's more me hanging out with my audience, but playing games. It's not me collabing with another creator or doing a co-op playthrough or appearing on a podcast or anything like that. It's more just sitting here and talking with you and hanging out and having a good time discussing games and playing games, right?
Which is exactly what he wants. He doesn't want to make new interesting content to draw in an actual different audience that wants different styles of content. He's not actually looking to broaden his horizons. He wants to do what he's always done. He just wants more money and more eyes for doing it. He also said that the Asmongold interview came out of nowhere when, if I recall, that was the second time that he tried to reach out to Asmongold and get his little rub from him, his little rub and tug that he claims lasted about 3 to 4 weeks. Not the case whatsoever. It was more like 2. But, we'll allow DSP to have his delusions if he wants them. He can live in whatever pignatized version of reality that he wants.
So when I did this interview with Asmongold, it was a rare thing, and the fact that he gave me his time is a rare thing. And I got a big boost in late November and very early December for about 2 to 3 weeks.
Rocket on his back, as he described it.
Way more views than usual. Like, my stream attendance was doubled. Okay, no exaggeration. 9,000 new subs to the channel within a week. Pretty insane, right? In 1 week to get that many. I never get that many. In a month, typically I'll get like 500. And all of a sudden I was getting 9,000 in a week.
I find that kind of crazy in and of itself, that there's 500 people a month that would subscribe to DSP. I can only imagine that those are sock accounts that are subscribing simply so that they have easy access to, go troll him until they inevitably get banned, and then they go do it all again. But yeah, 200,000+ subscribers on that channel, and he's currently sitting at 244 viewers, and usually is sitting around 200 for a normal stream. Not exactly the percentages that I would be, bragging about, but it's the guy. He's got to count his wins when he can.
Support was absolutely overwhelming. Okay, it's really awesome how I got all of this cool positivity, and a whole new group of people were paying attention to me and hanging out with me on my streams. Okay. But much like the other times when this has happened, I knew that it was fleeting. I knew that most of those people were not going to stick around. They were there because of Asmongold. They weren't there because of me. They were interested in me and what I do and the content that I make, but they probably weren't going to stick around temporarily or permanently. It was going to be a temporary thing, and then eventually things were going to level out and kind of go back to normal. So I'm happy to say.
But that just means that he couldn't capitalize on the win. That means that when he was given, this opportunity, when he was finally allowed to the big leagues, when he got his step up and he played his first game, he wasn't able to actually do anything with it, and then got pushed back down to the minor leagues. That's all this is saying. Well, again, this is not a topic that I would necessarily bring up if I was DSP. This is not a good look. This is him just saying, yeah, guys, I failed once again, despite someone affording me the opportunity and allowing me to speak to their audience and giving me their time of day. I didn't do anything with it, except for buy all these toys, of course.
There are quite a few people from that crowd who've stuck around. There is still an increase in engagement, particularly. Like, I'll tell you guys right now, people are leaving a lot more comments on my videos. People are liking my streams and videos a lot more than they were previously. And I really appreciate that. You have to understand that even though you don't concretely maybe see it in views or whatever, that engagement helps the channel. I've got tons of people who are coming to me and saying, we're finding your channel in the algorithm. It's suggesting your videos. This is crazy. This hasn't happened in a million years. And now I'm seeing DSP Gaming actually get recommendations and stuff on YouTube. And
fun fact, if you watch enough detractor content, you will get DSP Gaming videos in your recommended, unironically. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't know that him being in the recommended is necessarily a good sign.
That's good. That's crazy positive, okay? And I appreciate that. But I don't think any of us are going to, try to fool ourselves and be like, oh, yeah, the Asmongold bump there from the appearance was going to last, or that most of the people stuck around, that they just haven't. What's happened is in the last
right, you weren't
weeks,
entertaining.
A lot of those people who rushed to the channel because I was a guest on with Asmongold, they left and they unsubscribed. Okay, so yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. That's just a natural thing. You get a big influx, and then it's gonna peter out eventually. I wasn't going to change all my content on the fly and suddenly become a guy just like Asmongold, who daily is covering drama topics and daily news and things like that. That's not who I am. I'm a gamer. That's the core of my content. Now, a lot of you here who are relative newcomers, thank you. And it's good to see you. It's good to see your faces every day. When you come by my content and you hang out and we have a good time together, it's good to have a new crowd of fresh faces in here. But also thanks to all of the longtime viewers and fans.
He says this. He's like, all the new faces, all the people that showed up from the Asmongold interview, this, that, and the other. But if your numbers are the same at 200 and some for a pre-stream, which is honestly low for a pre-stream. Usually the pre-stream is around 270, 280, kind of like his wife. When they're usually around 270, 280, that means you lost your other viewers if you genuinely believe that Asmongold or the Asmongold bump actually left people around. That means your longtime viewers decided to go elsewhere in that amount of time. This is not something to brag about, like at all. This is another common DSPL that he's trying to post up in front of you and change the narrative on.
Who have also stuck around and are hanging out and having a good time on a daily basis. Again, you guys are awesome, and I'm really having a great time. I want you to understand that, okay? But what's happened in the last month is I put in a lot of time and effort into using that temporarily bump to do as much.
That temporarily bump? Sorry, I'm going to run it back. Are we mush-mouthing? I muted it.
I put in a lot of time and effort into using that temporarily bump to do as much as I possibly could while I could before we kind of get back to normal business. And what that means is until we get back to the regular streams, the regular stuff, and I'm trying to improve as much as I possibly can. As you know, I bought a ridiculous amount of new hardware, multiple monitors, arms, microphone improvements, an audio interface, new keyboards, new mice, new everything, right? And it's great.
Multiple keyboards and multiple mice. Like, you notice that he didn't use the opportunity to, I guess he tried, which I suppose I can't fault him for. If other people don't respond, they don't respond. But you notice that he didn't, you know, shake up the content and try and do a style of content that he didn't usually do, or appeal to those fans by reacting to the news or hot button topics, or reach out to other people and try and collab with them and do a style of content that he doesn't typically do. He just bought a bunch of fucking toys. He used this opportunity to buy a bunch of shit to cater to the people that were already sitting around and wasting their time watching the guy on a daily basis, which for the most part is us, by the way.
My setup is ever
again, it's just
improving.
not a brag.
Every week I'm adding a few new things, I'm tweaking a few new things, and it's making the content better in the long run. It really is. But at the same time, it's been stressful. All right, it has been. It's been very stressful.
So stressful.
I'm trying to basically juggle my regular streams with my real life while also doing all this other stuff in between. And all of it is time.
If you genuinely believe what DSP does is work, he does nothing that anybody else doesn't do. They balance their real life with their friends and their family, with going to work, and simultaneously doing all of the other things that you have to do on a regular basis, whether that be home maintenance, car maintenance, you know, of course, spending time with your friends and family, running errands, changing things around the house or whatever. Everybody else does all of these things the exact same way. The only difference is that he's afforded the ability to never have to leave. So he actually is in a better situation to do all of these things than people that work real jobs. But he's the hardest worker. He's super stressed out, you guys.
Okay, I just want you to understand, like, literally all of it is time invested.
And you're right. Crustpunks is right. I actually didn't even include in that having hobbies, things that people enjoy doing, not things that they're obligated to do or people they're obligated to spend time with and care for, but also enjoy themselves in their hobbies and the things that interest them. DSP is afforded far more time and far more ease of access than anybody else, but I'm supposed to watch him get on his hands and knees and grovel about how stressed he is and how he needs time to relax. Come on, man.
Just looking for stuff that I need to buy or whatever, to get it in here, to get it working with the setup, to mess around with settings. Oh, does this work? Does that work? You know, it's time consuming. And I'm having a lot of time right now. Like my time crunch is a big problem, where I want to get out of here so I can go spend time with my wife, and I get stuck. And then, you know, we suffer for it. And that's not fair. That's not fair to my wife, because...
Okay, but that, again, this is everyone working anywhere. There's tons of people every single day that go to work, want to get out of work after their 8 hours, their 10 hours, their 12 hours, and then they get stuck at work because something happened and now they can't go home for an additional 1, 2, 3, 4 hours as they fix the problem because it's not an option. Welcome to the real world, buddy. It sucks sometimes.
She deserves to spend time with me, and it's not healthy. You need to have a work-life balance. You really do. You know, you have to understand that in life, you know, you have to have that separation. It can't just be all of one thing all the time. And that's why when people ask me, well, Phil, you're a gamer, right? So you must play games when you're off stream. I do not, because I spend so much time in this studio streaming. I don't want my life outside of the studio to be exactly the same thing. It would actually be so permeating to my life that my whole life is games that I get tired of it. So outside of this room, I don't really game. And that's a good thing. That's a good separation that I need. But what's happened is
that's also... Again, just really sad as an admission, because he's been on record before on stream, his own streams that he broadcasts to everybody himself, saying that he doesn't play the games that he wants to play and can't just sit back and relax and enjoy the games because he has to try to be entertaining. He has to try and be funny and be interesting while he plays these games. And he doesn't get to enjoy them the way that he wants to. So he's taken his hobby that he's apparently loved forever and completely ruined it and sequestered it into this thing that he doesn't actually get to enjoy. It's simply a grind for him. And that's the way that he thinks that it should be. He shouldn't be allowed to enjoy the video games that he wants to, even though his wife plays games. So it's like they could play them together, or he could show her and she could enjoy watching him play the games that she doesn't necessarily want to play herself and enjoy the narratives. But of course he can't do that because that's too much gaming. That thing that he loves is too much. Okay. Thank you, Sergeant Fambro, for the 10 months. Saying he talks about spending time with Kat, but he stayed really late the other night to play Street Fighter 6. I believe that. He does that frequently, and he's even going to say that during these next 2 segments. I think it'll be in the next one. But yeah, he will bring up how late he stays despite wanting to spend time with her, which if he really meant it, he wouldn't do. Thank you for the 10 months. And the do 994 for the 1 month saying play Street Fighter at 1 a.m. before Friday night fights. Exactly. Got to be in this office setting up, you guys, making sure that the game is updated. And I got to do a couple of sets, of course. My wife will understand. She's sleeping anyway. Thank you, Darkside Ranter, for the 5, saying he's in the office for the biggest part of the day by choice. He couldn't balance a book on its side, let alone his life. It's true. It's true. This is the life that he's built as an adult. He's the one that dictates his schedule. He's the one that dictates how long he's in there, the things that he does and doesn't do, and when he does and doesn't do them. It's entirely a prison of his own making. But you're supposed to feel bad for him. You're supposed to listen to him, like I said, grovel and cry about the situation that he's made, as if it's your fault. Thank you for the 5. Magic Short Bus with another 5 saying, says he knew the Asmon bump wouldn't last, but made a video titled Everything Has Changed right after. He thought he was going to get thousands every day. He always does. Anytime DSP has a windfall, he thinks that it's forever. He changes things drastically. Look, he took the goals away, for fuck's sake. He thinks that everything is forever, all the way up until it comes crashing down, in which case we have to change the narrative and pretend like we always knew we were destined to fail and come back to reality. Of course, we have to be right. We can't ever be caught off guard. We are DSP, of course. Thank you for the 5, Magic Short Bus. I appreciate it.
The last month and a half since the Asmon Gold interview, there's been a lot of people bringing stuff up. For example, Phil, I've noticed you don't really clip your content. Right? Like you do a podcast, but you don't have excerpts or segments taken out that are uploaded to your channel. That would really benefit you, Phil, if you did that. Fair enough. We talked about this a few weeks ago, that maybe hiring an editor or something like that, right, to do that for me would probably be a big asset. The problem being, how do I trust anyone? When I have...
Well, the bigger question is, what do you clip? Like, I know, DSP detractor clippers get quite a few views, but they're for the they are there for the negativity, which is the majority of the content. I think anybody trying to clip actual positive style, robust, meaningful content, the DSP would qualify as all of those things. I think they're in for a really tough job. In order to sift through all of the shit and come away with a clip that's even worth watching, I think is a big ask. I think that's the larger problem in the question here.
You know, people who have literally sought employment at an ISP, then use their job at the ISP to log into my modem, shut down my streams, and change the name of my wireless network to be something like Phil is a pedophile, so my neighbors saw it. Okay? If they go that far, what's to make us think that I wouldn't hire an editor who would mess with me? You know what I'm saying? I'm giving them access to all of my content, my channel, and all of that. That's an insanely risky venture. And that's also a lot of trust to put into someone, right?
Okay.
And so, you know, I
mean, it doesn't have to be, though, by the way. He could definitely just have somebody that doesn't have access to his account make videos, and then he download those videos separately and upload them himself. This does not have to be where he gives them a bunch of permissions to go into his account and do X, Y, or Z. They could just clip on their own time and do these things for him, and then he just upload them himself. But that's too much thinking for the guy. He couldn't get that far. Thank you, NWO News, for the 10, saying getting rid of goals is destroying him. Not being able to use that as a beg tactic anymore is a massive mistake. I agree, and I said this at the beginning. You go on to say he can't go back, so now he's literally drowning. Next massive crash out may kill him. Well, we'll see. I was telling the Atlas, she didn't ask, but I was telling her anyway, about how he took away the goals and how insane of a fucking move that was and how it was going to backfire as soon as the Asmon roaches were gone. And that was short-lived. So yeah, we're definitely drowning. We're flailing about pretty pathetically as of late. I am Joe Dub with the 5, saying trying to find a positive part of a Phil stream is like trying to find a penny in a pile of quarters. It's true. It's true. It's a big task. Yeah, I mean, is the guy after all. It's always toxic. It's always negative. That's the kind of content he enjoys making, no matter how much he denies wanting to make it. You always see him latch on to the trolls in the chat or what the detractors are doing or what the new meme is rather than actual topics that are posed by his real fans about games that he's interested in or what his favorite X, Y, or Z is. None of that is interesting to him. He loves the negativity. He loves the drama.
I dabbled in, maybe I could do my own clips or whatever, but already, for those who don't know, I do all my own recording. I do all my own like stream archiving. I do all the thumbnails myself.
I do all of my own recording and all of my stream archiving, which means hitting go live and ticking the box that says, archive stream in the settings. He acts as though this is a big task. This is that DSP pretending he does a bunch of work style segment here.
It's all me.
I do my own thumbnails, and it's the most generic fucking thumbnail you've ever seen that you could throw together in free software like GIMP or Affinity in like 5 fucking seconds.
I will say there is 1 or 2 people who behind the scenes help me with a few little things here or there, and I'm very appreciative of that for people who make me artwork.
You're right. He does use fucking DaVinci Resolve to make thumbnails. I totally forgot. He uses the video editing software to make thumbnails. That's the level that this guy is on.
People who help me every once in a while with some editing problems and things like that. But for the most part, it's all me. So it's not just what you see publicly here on the stream. It's also all the work I'm putting in behind the scenes every day that's very time consuming. And the thing is, I've definitely gotten better, all right, at all of this. That's for sure. Like in the last year, I've actually gotten really good at hammering out quick thumbnails. And I know they're not the best quality, but they're still pretty good for the fact that I have no training or whatever. And I'm just whipping these out on the fly every day, right?
No training? Does he genuinely think that people who make YouTube videos and make thumbnails have fucking like college level graphic design courses under their fucking belt? They've got degrees in thumbnail making. Does he think that that's the case? Because I find that I'm sure that some of them do. I'm sure that Mr. Beast's marketing team or whatever has many a degree under their fucking belt, and the people that put their shit together because they have to make 1,000 of them or whatever, all the variations that do better in the algorithm. I'm sure maybe they do, but I'm pretty sure that most people just make their own fucking thumbnails with limited to no experience in a photo editor at all.
After a stream ends. But I just don't have time to sit here after a stream that's already 5 hours and say, well, now I'm going to spend another hour or 2 clipping out the highlights, titling them, making thumbnails, putting those on the channel, or getting a second channel and putting the content over there. I feel like if I had that, the Asmongold bump would have been a lot more long lasting. And you would have had an audience that's used to that formula from him, who would have now jumped into my content, who would have loved it. The problem is I'm a one-man show. I'm not Asmongold, who has people working for him, doing this shit for him. I'm not someone who gets 40,000 viewers on a stream where I'm rolling in dough and it doesn't matter if I take extra time out to do that shit. I have to be here to make a living. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's me. That's my work ethic. That's how I'm successful. So
you can't do all the things that are required to ensure that your business continues to thrive and you can continue to be in business. I don't see how this is. It's just not a segment that I would have done. This is not a brag. This is just excuses and cope because this guy is unwilling or unable, if you believe what he says, to do the things that he needs to do to be successful. That's entirely on him. This is, his making here.
Yeah, it is frustrating when I know I had opportunity in the last month and a half to.
And he's not a one-man show. He's had a couple of editors. He's had people make his thumbnails in the past. He's had people coming up with tier lists so that he could do them on the stream. Like, he's had a plethora, if you want to say it that way. He's had multiple people do these things behind the scenes to help him along in ways that I'm sure other content creators that are bigger and more successful than him never have. There are actual one-man shows that put on better shows than he does.
Things a little differently, and it definitely would have benefited long term, but I really didn't have the means. And I hope you understand that. It's not that I don't want to change and do more things. I just don't have the time. I'm a one-man show. I always have been.
One-man show.
And it's insanely hard for me to be able to try to put trust or anything into someone like that, simply because there's so many people who over the years have messed with me or are right now at this very point looking to mess with me. Okay?
That's us. That's us right now. That's what we're doing. We're messing with the guy.
So, all that going on, all that going down, right? Basically, what happened this week is essentially all of that kind of boost that I got from the Asmongold stuff is basically over with. Let's be honest here, okay? There are new viewers who are here.
Didn't we say this last week, by the way? Didn't we acknowledge that the Asmongold bump was over last week in a segment that I didn't cover, by the way, that I didn't watch? But I'm pretty sure that we've done this before. We said this, but now it's over. We're addressing it formally once again.
Is actually higher than it used to be, and I appreciate that. I really do. But at the same time, yeah, it was inevitable that it was going to take probably about a month for it to peter out, and it has. Here we are now in about mid-January, and my levels are about back to where they were, which I always knew was going to happen. The good news is, unlike with the whole last arc that happened, this hasn't left a group of toxic people behind. In this case, the Asmongold crowd are a good crowd of gamers who are like mine with me, who like me and my content. And so those who stuck around are not, oh, we hate Phil. It's the opposite. Like, oh, we actually like Phil, and we're happy that we found him and that he's in the algorithm again. Okay?
Is that what happened? I can't tell you how many times I've seen people in his chat, and maybe these aren't real Asmongold fans. Maybe these are just trolls trying to jerk his chain or get his goat or whatever the fuck you want to say. They're like, I came from the Asmongold interview, and you're actually boring as shit, and your content is terrible, and you're bad at your job. I'm leaving. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in his chat, and sometimes he even calls it out, like during that Tainted Grail segment that we looked at last week, or was it during fucking Expedition 33? I don't think it matters any. But he was like, oh, you can't just say these things and leave. You got to explain yourself. I'm entitled to an explanation. So I'm not sure that there's not a toxic element that's still around. I think there is. Thank you, Wesley. CCXX. I don't know what that Roman numeral is. For the 5. And you say, if he wasn't PDF covering a sack of garbage, he could have asked Brian for help with editing clips. Instead, he wants to sit on stream and whine. I pity Cat. Oh, I can't imagine the pre-stream fucking cry session she gets, buddy. The second she gets home from her minimum wage job working retail in the public, I'm sure he's just fucking ranting and raving about how stressed out he is. He's got so much to do. Oh, that's 220. Thank you. How much he's stressed out. He's got so much to do. These people on the internet are mean to him. They're not enjoying the games. He doesn't know what he's going to do. I can't even fucking fathom.
But, yeah, the boost that I had is gone. And basically now, what's happened is, I'm doing some content and some streams, and it's just not doing as well as I hope. And that's frustrating, and that is disheartening, but at the same time, it's not horrible. It's not like I'm sitting here doing streams with no one showing up and no one, engaging the content and no one supporting at all. That hasn't happened. Okay, what's happened is you get slower streams, and that's okay. Like, that's the natural balance of things. You're not going to have insanely sky-high attendance, engagement, and support everything you do. I know that, being someone of my stature and scale, I'm not a ginormous content creator. Okay, but when you put
guys, every time I get off a stream, I always feel like we have tremendous attendance and support and engagement, or whatever the fuck he just said. And I'm way smaller than the guy. I mean, look at our sub channel or our sub count numbers. I pale in comparison, but I always have a positive feeling when I hop off for the day. So I appreciate you all for that. Big ups. No negativity here. Thank you, Garbage Can, for the 5. saying, hello, Atlas. Shout out to DSP Space Gay Man, the best RimWorld gay man. Well, big ups to DSP Space Gay Man, the best RimWorld gay man on the planet and in the Outer Rim system or whatever the fuck. Big ups. A garbage can for the 5.
Work into something and it doesn't pan out. It gets frustrating. All right. So notably, you know, yesterday was a day when I was really disappointed with how stuff went because I feel like I actually put out a really good product yesterday, but no one really noticed. All right. And what I mean by that is yesterday on the first stream, I did the most disappointing games of 2025 countdown. And then I paired that with Pokemon. All right. And I feel like maybe that was a mistake.
Like cheese and wine. That pairing
maybe
there.
I shouldn't have paired those two things together. That they didn't really
like pizza and
necessarily
breadsticks
work together. And
like sandwich
I think
and
that
chips.
moving forward, what I need to do is if I'm going to do year-end
Coke
series,
and
I do
rum.
year-end series.
Gin and
if I'm going to
tonic.
do gameplay,
Sorry.
I do gameplay. Don't try to
Stop.
combine them because that's going to become confusing. It's going to split the audience. People are not going to know what's going on when. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So
they're so fucking like it's crazy to me that DSP thinks that his audience can't read the title or listen to the words that he says, and that they're so stupid that after he finished the pre-stream of the disappointing games or whatever, they just clicked off the video and were completely like dumbfounded at the idea that the stream was going to continue to the same length that it always does every day. That's so, again, it's just so insulting. It's crazy that he thinks his viewers are this dumb.
I didn't do a podcast yesterday, but instead what I did was the countdown of the most disappointing games, which lasted about 90 minutes roughly. I think that countdown was great. I've actually watched back a lot of it, and I was nervous it wasn't going to be a good countdown because I was doing it differently, where we were watching clips of the games as I talked, and then I came back over here, swung the mic this way, narrated for a bit, then I swung back, and we talked about the next game. In reality, watching it back, I think it looked and sounded great. I'm actually very pleased with how that came out. I hope that you guys who have watched it after the fact are liking it. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't even looked at it overnight because, like, I felt like I put a lot of effort into making that work, and I was hoping that it was going to do good, but the stream didn't do good. For the record, like
he's actively avoiding looking at his failure. It makes him too sad, you guys. Like genuinely that upset about it. He can't even look at it. He's so sad. Oh my God. And once again, him just hyping up the amount of work that he's doing. I'm swinging over here. I'm swinging over there. I'm looking at this. I'm talking over the clips in the background. Let me tell you what happened in case you didn't see it, in case you were smart enough to avoid this stream. He played his own footage in the background from his own YouTube channel and talked about video games over it. The footage didn't actually represent nor correspond to anything that he was talking about directly, almost at any point. The only time it did is when he would go out of his way to go, hey God, guys, let me see if I can find the part that I'm talking about where the game glitched out. Okay, yeah, it's somewhere in here. Let me click around and find out. And then he would scroll through the timeline and then try and find it. That was the only time that the gameplay in the background was ever relevant to what he was saying. I just can't imagine calling that work, just playing media in the background while you talk about games that you played. That's what he does normally. How is this any different from what he does on a regular basis? I guess because he played the games a little while ago, he has to, recall and recollect is the word. He has to recollect the things that he thought about the game when he played them, as if that's some sort of big ask, as if that's a Herculean task that only he is capable of. Insane. I thank you, Quasar Blade, for the 2, saying essentially they are stupid. This is Phil. Yeah. He does genuinely think that they're stupid. I agree. And they're too stupid to enjoy the very robust content that he uploaded. And he's distraught because they didn't watch it. I agree.
Actually performed worse than a normal stream if I had just played Pokemon. All right. And that's really what hit me is, damn, I put a lot of effort into that. I thought about the worst games. I got set all that up ahead of time with the video clips. I thought in my head about what I wanted to say about each game. I set it up so we could transition back and forth smoothly. I tweaked everything for that to work.
I thought about what I wanted to say about the games, and then I made and then I upload, or I had videos in my OBS in an order in which I could run down the list of games in order. That's what he's bragging about right now. This is the humongous amount of work that DSP is putting into his stream that he wants to be rewarded for. Hey guys, on these streams, I also put these clips in order in which I want to talk about them, and I think about what I want to talk about in them before I hit go live and we start streaming. Now, if you could insert $1 million into my bank account immediately, that would be great. I would really appreciate that. Very cool.
Did it?
That's what he's doing right now. That's like a crazy ass.
Enjoying it, but the stream actually performed quite poorly compared to a normal Pokemon stream, which is pretty crazy to think that if I just sat here and chilled and just played Pokemon normally, it would have done better than this big event that I put effort and time into. Okay, so number one, that actually is one of the things that frustrated me, but I don't actually blame anyone but myself.
You should.
I feel like if the problem was
that's a good mindset.
I set it up for failure, pairing it with Pokemon, I should have just done one or the other, and that's my fault. I think and that's something that I learned from, right? That's something that I grow and I improve and I change over time. Now I know, don't be doing these double streams. That's the thing, is a lot of streamers do that. They'll do a stream that has 2-3 topics and they jump between a game here, there. It doesn't work for me. Like for me, it's always been like focus on one thing.
Yeah.
And it'll work. If I don't.
But when has it worked is, I guess, my biggest question. Like, and this is, I genuinely think the reason he has to focus on one thing is because he doesn't have the mental bandwidth nor mental capacity to do two things at once. He can't chew gum and walk. He can't play video games and talk at the same time. He's just not capable of it. And this is just cope for why he has to act as retarded as he actually is. But I would like an example of him doing one thing and doing it well enough to the point it works, because I genuinely can't think of a single time. Thank you, Wesley220. I know now, for the 5, saying he sounds like a child facing public disappointment for the first time. If he was 7, it'd be kind of okay, but at 43, this is beyond pathetic coping. I agree. I absolutely agree. If something just didn't go your way, your wife is about the only person at 43 that you're allowed to say these things to. Saying them publicly like this in front of everybody about how sad and disappointed you are that you're not getting the recognition you deserve is absolutely pathetic and embarrassing. Not behavior a 43-year-old should be exhibiting. Thank you for the 5. And Scrappy CC with the 2, saying he's been doing double work for you, and you guys weren't appreciating it. I see. Scrappy CC understands. He's down with the guy's cause here. Thank you for the 2.
Then people get confused. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do moving forward. In fact, for the rest of the year-end series, I'm going to do one big stream for the Game of the Year countdown and for the DSP tries it like best of countdown. We're going to do all in one stream, so that way no one's confused about the content.
Nice.
Okay, good. Now, that's the thing that, number one, frustrated me yesterday, putting all that effort into the year-end series, into the countdown, and basically didn't do very well at all. The stream actually underperformed versus a normal stream. But then on top of that, recently, I've been putting a lot of effort into Call of Duty. And when
Jordan Fadeaway with the 2, speaking of effort, saying a fart in the wind does more effort than DSP. This is true. This is factual.
I mean by that
agree.
Is
Thank
I
you for
have
the 2,
tried
Jordan
my
Fadeaway.
hardest to improve my setup to try to make Black Ops 7 gameplay viable in my rotation. Previously, I don't feel it.
So that's his excuse for buying a bunch of peripherals that he didn't need, like the 8 million wrist rests and a new keyboard and a new mouse and the new monitor. All of this was in some sort of attempt to make Black Ops 7 viable in his rotation, as if he was going to get some sort of ROI from Black Ops 7 and the dents that love the game by buying all of this extra shit. Because him getting an additional 2 kills per game was going to be the difference between the game hitting the goal and the game making $5 a stream. That's just a fucking asinine way to think. That's such an idiotic idea. Only DSP could have thought that way.
I tried playing Black Ops 7 when it came out in November, and I sucked at it hard. Like, I was doing absolutely terribly. I told you guys I didn't really know what was going on because previous years I've played Call of Duty and I've been able to do well, usually mid to high up on the leaderboard when I play, getting great, kill streaks, good kill death ratios, doing all the unlocks and all of that. And it's been a great ride with Call of Duty being a variety kind of a game that I put into my rotation. But for whatever reason, this year, I just have sucked at it, right? Like I haven't done well at all.
Right.
So I said, you know,
it's because he's bad at video games and he's slow and moves at grandpa speed. I'm going to see if I can find that clip the other day of him playing Black Ops 7 and totally stormtrooper aiming at this guy. It was all over Twitter. It should be easy to find.
Because I don't want to give up
I think
on the game.
Unk
I know
even
there's people
posted
who like
it,
watching
so
me play Call of Duty.
shouldn't
So
have
what did
a problem.
I do? I mean, literally, I bought a high-end gaming keyboard that's
A
supposed to be one of the
high-end
best for
gaming
competitive
keyboard.
FPS. I bought a high-end gaming mouse. I bought new wrist rests that are for competitive gaming. I'm playing on
They're for competitive
high-end
gaming.
OLED monitor. I'm using surround sound now to hear where everyone is when I play. Okay, so I'm doing all of these things to improve the performance. The truth is, it's actually worked. It has. It's actually improving. My gameplay has gotten distinctly better. If you've watched the last couple of Call of Duty streams that I've done, I'm actually doing well. I'm placing on the leaderboards. I'm getting mostly positive kill-death ratios. I'm unlocking new weapons and switching between them. I'm actually now doing the challenges again. I'm starting to do the daily and the weekly challenges and unlocking new things. Like last night when I played with the ballistic knife, it was very fun to see this new gadget in action and everything.
This new gadget, the ballistic knife, that's been in Call of Duty since Black Ops 1? Okay, Grandpa, if you say so. So here is, oh no, don't spoil, come on. Anyway, here is the robust and meaningful, of course, that's how we describe everything around here, style gameplay that the guy is bragging about. This is him being good at Call of Duty. You might not believe it based off of what you see here. This is the good Black Ops 7 gameplay he's bragging about.
Unreal. Unfucking real. All those bullets magically miss from point blank range.
They magically missed. Completely unreal, dude. Just waving the shit around. Just haphazardly. Back and forth. They gotta hit eventually, boss, I guess.
Unreal. Unfucking real. All those bullets magically miss from point blank range.
Anyway. I meant to grab this and have this available before we got to this point, and I blanked on it. But yes, a fantastic Black Ops 7 gameplay. I can't believe that this wasn't doing well on the streams. That's unreal, as how I would describe that.
It's been fun. Like I had a great time playing Call of Duty last night, despite the fact that I rage, because I always rage playing Call of Duty. I think that's part of the experience of it, right? But I still am having a blast and doing well. But it didn't translate into a successful stream again. Okay?
Damn.
And that's what I mean. Like, when I put the effort in to do all of these improvements, and for the record, again, it is stressful because not only am I listening to feedback and trying to do the stuff that you guys want, right? I'm ordering stuff. I'm setting it up.
That's what the people want. They want him to order more shit and set it up and plug it in. That's what the people have been asking for. Damn it, dude. That makes so much sense. Now I understand why DSP is more successful than me. I wasn't ordering enough shit. I'm getting on Amazon right now, and I like he recommended earlier, I'm just throwing a bunch of shit in the cart.
I'm tweaking
just start
and getting
purchasing.
it working. We're doing all these adjustments. I'm jumping between, oh, we're playing a game like...
The people want more adjustments. Okay, I got you guys. Hold on. Let me just, I'm gonna come in here. Damn, you see the scan line filter I just put on? Adjustments. Are you happy? You're geeked to be here? Let's go.
Now we have headphones on, surround sound. We're playing like this. Now
Positivity
we're going back
only in
over
chat,
here,
of
playing
course.
on a
Anyone with
gamepad.
negativity is banned.
It's a lot of work, and again, it's hard to not be scatterbrained with all the new changes and things that I've implemented. All right, and I know the content is looking better. I know the content is sounding better. Okay, I know all
That's it.
My problem is it's not translating.
His audio's actively been getting worse over the past like 3 years, but we're talking about how much it sounds better.
Into people showing up, engaging and supporting the content. In fact, it's the opposite. Less people are doing so with Call of Duty particularly. Okay? So on the first stream yesterday, I could say, that's on me. I made a miscalculation. I shouldn't have done a year-end series and paired it with Pokemon.
I'll take the filter off now.
But you know, you live and you learn. not going to sit here and
Doesn't
cry
add
about
very
it. I'm just gonna move
much.
forward and change what I do in the future. But with the Call of Duty thing,
Uh-huh.
I just don't know what else I could possibly do at this point. Like, I've done everything I could to improve that experience, and I have improved the gameplay, but it doesn't seem like anyone cares. It's weird because there'll be times when people scream at me and say, we love Call of Duty, please keep it in the rotation. But then when I play it, it just doesn't translate into something that works. We end up with a lot of trolls who are just sitting around crap.
Those are the people that are asking for Call of Duty. It's the same people that typically ask for fighting gameplay. Their names rhyme with N Bode, I think is very close rhyme there. Are the only people I know that fuck with fighting game content. And everyone else is a troll as well. That's it. I don't know any real DSP fans that want to see him be salty, complain, and bitch and moan the entire time and yell about cheaters and people playing fucking playing patterns and flowchart gameplay. I don't understand how he doesn't get this by now. Him playing online, yeah, Jax Raxer, I guess, is the only real fan that pays for that shit. But like, I don't understand how he doesn't understand at this point that multiplayer asks are just trolls and detractors wanting him to seethe online. That's it. Wesley 220 with the 5 saying all this talk about effort equaling support just disproves the workout saga. If bro was really working out, he'd see that effort and does that not equate? And he would see that effort, not immediate gains. It's true. That's a good point. He doesn't have the mentality for working out because you don't see the immediate support in that instance. I guess that would be the support is the gains. But no, he's in that instant gratification mindset that he claims that everybody else is always behind or always having the entire time because they're dumb, stupid kids. That's the world they grew up in. Not him though.
On me, crapping on
muscular
gameplay,
support,
on
exactly.
And they just bring this toxic element. And listen, that's okay as long as it's paired with positivity. But I'm not seeing the positivity. You get people who claim they love this game, they want me to play it. Where are they when I play it? Last night, attendance was average. Okay. Engagement was
what's wrong with that?
We had some people who were engaged and a lot of trolls. Support was just okay. It certainly was not a great stream. It wasn't a terrible stream. It was kind of middle of the road. But for the amount of effort that I put into it to improve it and make it work, that is actually very disheartening and it crushes me.
And he genuinely is conflating effort with just buying shit and plugging it in. He acts as though he's been aim training for like a week straight and that he's been practicing and doing scrims with legitimately good players and like learning the map and studying spawn points and learning new angles and studying the meta of the game. Like if he were to do all of that, I could even get behind him pretending to have put effort into his stream to be better at the game. But just buying shit, that's not good enough. That's again, it's just insane. I don't know any other word that describes DSP better than just insane.
That's a lot of effort I put into trying to make this game work because people said they wanted it, and now it's still not working. So what do I do? Right now, people in the chat are like, well, the game sucks. Yeah, it's Call of Duty. It pretty much always sucks these days. Can we all kind of like agree on that? Like Call of Duty hasn't been outright good in many years. Okay. They stopped putting effort in a long time ago when it started printing money and they had no competition anymore. They just stopped trying. You know, the game itself has taken out a lot of the things that used to be fun. Strategy doesn't even exist in the game anymore. A lot.
That's a retarded take. Like you don't have to like the strategy of the game, but every game has a strategy. There is some sort of thought that you have to put into it that like things do and don't work as good as the next thing does and doesn't. You know, you get what I'm trying to say? I said it in a stupid way, but you get what I'm saying.
A lot of it is just to kind of run around, twitchy shooting, abusing things like the auto aim.
Then that's the strategy.
And aim assist and shit like that is bad.
Using an aim assist is then the strategy. Like that's what I'm saying. It's not that there is no strategy. You're just not using it or not caring about it.
Yeah, but you could still get enjoyment out of it as long as you understand what it is and you treat it for what it is. It's kind of a fun game. You run around, you have silly fun. You go for a crazy kill streak, shooting, you know, a knife out of your hand and stab someone, and then you summon a stupid drone and you fly around sniping for a while with this drone. You know what I mean? It's not, I don't think it's meant to be an ultra serious game for the sweats. Although some people play it like that, I think they're completely wasting their time with it.
And they would make the same argument about people playing fighting games that also don't matter. Brother, it's a hobby. It's a way to entertain yourself in your free time. Okay, let's act as though we're better than Call of Duty players, I guess. I mean, some of us are. Don't get me wrong. Some of us are better than Call of Duty players. They breathe through their mouths. But anyway, thank you, I am Joe Dub, for the 5, saying if you put lipstick on a pig, in this case, a XLR cable interface and a monitor in his face, it's still the guy who's boring as sin. This is true. It doesn't matter how much shit he purchases and plugs in and how much he brags about owning these things. He's still just not entertaining whatsoever in any meaningful way. He's only entertaining in negative train wreck style ways.
I just don't think it's that good of a game.
5.
But I think it's a game that works for variety for my content. I do. I truly believe that Call of Duty works for variety in my content, and that's why it's frustrating to me when I work hard to try to make it work for the content, because at first it wasn't. And I think we can all agree you've seen that I did my best to improve as much as I could, and I have improved, but people just aren't clicking with it, right? To have a night where I play all night and I'm doing well, and, you know, we're getting mostly trolling and the support is not great, despite the fact that people claimed they wanted this, and that's why I kept, you know, improving it and trying to play it.
Almost like maybe it was the trolls then, huh?
It's crushing. It's very, see, disappointing isn't really the word. Disheartening isn't really the word. Maybe like demotivating. Like I've been, ever since the Asmongold interview, I've been very motivated to try to do as much as I can to improve as much as I can in a short period of time.
Improve being buy shit, obviously. We've already established this, but I want to cement it if he hasn't already. Improving means buy more shit. That's what we've been motivated to do.
Goal is that once the big releases of 2026 start to come out, I'm ready to go. I've improved as much as I possibly could. My setup is absolutely flawless. We're polished, right? We're polishing it. We're good to go. And also, my work-life balance is back in order. Everything is fine. We're in a good thing. Nothing's breaking and crashing. Everything's working on a daily basis. I want to be able to play all the big stuff this year and hang out with you guys.
Yeah, that should be standard for a stream. Like, I don't know why that is exactly something that he has to work towards, that things aren't breaking and crashing on the stream on a regular basis, and he can go from day to day with things just working. I don't know anybody else who has more equipment issues than the guy. And we're going to see more of that in the next clip, because in case you didn't know, he spent so much time preparing for Street Fighter last night, you guys. He did a whole segment about it. I've never heard anybody complain more about how their setup just doesn't work. A setup he made, by the way, and he's super proud of.
And have a great time. In addition, I want to be able to adjust on the fly and play smaller games all the time. Whenever you guys tell me there's a new interesting game or thing, I want to be able to jump on it and just try it and play it. And that's a good thing, a change that I think is going to help a lot in 2026. Something that I've never really done before. All right? But yeah, yesterday actually upset me. And I just want to make that known. You know, I don't think it's particularly any one particular thing. It's just a day when I put a lot of work and effort into the whole day, and it had 2 slower streams. Not unsuccessful streams, not bad streams, but slower streams. You would think it would have been the opposite. Oh my God, it's the year-end series. People are going to rally and engage and have a great time. He'll put all this effort into Call of Duty, and he's doing all this fun stuff. He's playing the Fallout collab. He's using the ballistic knife. He's going crazy. Didn't translate into success. So that's a problem. And that's something that I want to be able to tackle.
Just a crazy expectation that people were going to rally behind Call of Duty because he was using a ballistic knife, doing the Fallout collab. I didn't even know that was a thing, by the way. I never heard of that till right now. And I watched this segment already. And because he bought shit, that people were going to show up and just start, I guess, wailing out was his expectation. They were going to, like I said, ROI, return on investment for Call of Duty for some reason, because he spent a bunch of money. They don't benefit from that. They're not using the screen or the 9,000 wrist rests that were purchased, or even looking and able to see the keyboard in question. There's no benefit to them. Why would they give you money for that?
Tackle and fix, but I don't know how. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something that we need to discuss. Like, how can I improve? What could I possibly do? Because it seems like at this point, even when I put in tons of effort, it doesn't necessarily translate into the success that I'm looking for. All right. Does that make sense? All right. And again, I'm not angry. I'm not, oh my God, why on earth didn't you guys come out in droves? Why didn't I double my stream attendance? Why didn't I double my support? That's not what I'm saying. All right. I understand that the short time that was going to happen with the Asmongold interview is gone. But when I'm listening to feedback and things that people are asking me, I want the year-end series. Where are the year-end series? And I start putting them out, and it really doesn't translate into success. Like, damn. When people are saying, we want Call of Duty, get better at Call of Duty because you suck at it, improve the Call of Duty. So I do, and then it doesn't work.
But he's not better at the game. Also, the same amount of people that show up for the pre-stream every day showed up for the pre-stream then, when he was doing the top 10 disappointing games or whatever. Did he expect a bunch of people who don't routinely watch his live streams to then go and watch his live stream simply because the top 10 disappointing games was on it or whatever? That doesn't make sense anyway. Like, a video on demand style viewer isn't going to go watch that. I even understand that about my content. People that watch Atlas videos, probably a lot of them don't translate to live viewers. It's a different style of content. It's got a different format to it. And regardless of how you try and make it, it's not the same experience. And then the same thing is going to be said about DSP's stupid fucking top 10 disappointing games.
It's frustrating. Okay? And that's where I'm coming from today. All right? So now.
All right, so we've got one more clip of bitching, whining, and complaining from the same day, back to back even. Oh, wait. No, it's not playing. Hang on. I fucked it up.
So now, in addition to all of that going on, right? We've got a lot of other stuff happening. Like for example, I knew that today I was going to be doing some different stuff. I was going to be playing on PS5, and I was going to be playing Street Fighter 6 on PC for the first time in almost a year. So I knew that I had to do all that extra work to get all that working, and I just didn't have time to do it yesterday.
Extra work to get all of that working. He'll say it here in a second, but I'll tell you now before we get away from the topic too much, and while it's relevant, extra work means turning on the PS5, okay, updating the software, purchasing a video game on the digital storefront, and then downloading the game. That's it. That's all of the work for the PlayStation 5. Now, all the work for Street Fighter 6 is plugging in the joystick and ensuring that it works, because for some reason DSP plugs shit in all the time and it just doesn't. So he has to, I guess he has to test it out and ensure that it does work. But he also had to install the game. Maybe he might have still had it installed. You know how DSP is, but we'll say he installed the game. So install Street Fighter 6, plug in joystick, ensure that it works. That's it. That's all of the work. That's all he had to do.
With all the effort I had put into those two streams, I was behind the 8 ball. So last night, my family went to sleep, and I came into this office for almost 2 hours.
2 hours.
Doing work to try to get ready for today. Okay? So the first thing I did is I booted up my PS5 for the first time in like months and months. You see here, I actually got my controller set up and ready to go. I'm trying to find a camera angle to show you.
Yeah, his family went to sleep, meaning his wife and his cat.
And I did all the system updates. So this was confusing. I went to get code.
Also had to hold up the PS5 controller so that you knew he was talking about the PS5. Because if you don't have a visual representation of the thing in question, obviously your mind can't understand it. That's how fucking stupid you are as a viewer.
Violet for today, and it says it's a pre-order, and I'm like, dude, it's like past midnight. How is it a pre-order? Or how could this possibly be a pre-order? It claims it comes out on January 10th. In the PlayStation store, and I'm like, what? So I go online, I'm looking everywhere. Everywhere it literally says comes out on the 9th. And I'm like, why the hell does it say it comes out on January 10th?
What?
I didn't understand. It didn't make any sense. So I bought it, and I installed it,
Uh-huh.
and then you could just play it.
Right.
So the game actually was mislisted on the PlayStation Store. It's actually live now. You can buy it and play it whenever you want, but it says it doesn't come out till tomorrow.
Okay. But that was no additional work for DSP. So he said what I said. He installed updates, plugged in the controller, went to the store, bought the game, and then downloaded it. So that was what, 5-10 minutes out of the 2 hours that he spent in the room after his family went to sleep, which means that he would have spent the additional, obviously, hour and 50 minutes playing Street Fighter, I guess.
No idea. All right. Good news is I got it working. I think now what I can do, and this is something that previously I hadn't been able to do, if I so choose, when I'm playing on PS5, I can now play at 1440p, which I never could do before. I could only do 1080p or 4K, because now I'm using this OLED monitor, and this monitor does 1440p. Previously, I was using my TV, and my TV would only do 1080 or 4K. Thing is, I think I'm just going to play at 4K. I don't see a reason not to. You guys will see it either at 1080 or 1440p, depending on where you're watching it. So I got all that done. So as I was doing that, okay, I realized I had other things that I needed to do. For example, while I was doing that update, my PC needed to do Windows Update, and I hadn't done Windows Updates for a bit. I'd actually queued them up and said, oh, I'm going to do them one day, all together.
This is, once again, another DSP self-created problem. He has a setup he uses every single day and swears to God that he turns off on a regular basis to not draw excess power or be a fire hazard or whatever. Yet he doesn't do the Windows updates when he's prompted. And I know there are some people that are adamant about not doing the Windows updates because they break shit all the time and all the features are broken, blah, 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 blah. I get it. I understand. That's not the guy, though. I mean, it does break all of his shit all the time because he's an idiot, but he doesn't have actual, like, logical technology-based concerns. He just doesn't do it because he's fucking lazy.
And I was in here last night already. I said, I already got to update this and this. I might as well do the Windows updates. So I started doing my streaming and capture PC, doing all the Windows updates. And then I went onto my gaming PC and I started downloading Street Fighter 6 again. For those who don't know, Street Fighter 6 is a huge download now on PC because, you have nearly 3 seasons of content in there and it takes a long time to download. So I got that going and I realized, oh man, I need to tweak Street Fighter 6 for today. I need to make sure that it's running well. I need to make sure that I have the least input delay because, first time I'm playing it in a very long time. So I dusted off the old Victrix Pro.
Got to bring out the joystick so you know what he's talking about. Of course.
Using playing Street Fighter 6. I cleaned it off. I got it working with the PC again, which it is. It's working very well. Okay. And
again, he says that he has to get it with the PC or like working with the PC again. You mean you have to plug it in? That's it, right? You just plug it in and it identifies it as a generic Xbox controller, and then the buttons are automatically bound via the software. That's it.
I downloaded Street Fighter 6. And I tweaked it a bit. And
how much longer am I going? This segment is 10 more minutes, so I'll probably be here for another 20 to 30. Expect a restream. The guy's not on today. It's Saturday.
I did some testing.
Unless he is.
Testing.
In which case,
4K,
no, I'm going to go get lunch.
120 hertz, 1440p, 120 hertz, and 1080p, 1440 hertz. And distinctly testing all three, there's definitely the absolute
Gotta get my
least
burrito, dude.
amount
I can't sit here all day.
Input delay on 1080p. In fact, it's weird when you boot the game up. If you tell it to default to like the best settings, it gives you 1080p resolution. It's like the game itself knows that if you try to make it look better at higher resolution, it'll definitely look more pretty, but it adds input delay. So I was tweaking and messing with it. I was like, oh, okay. So it's working now, right? This is good. So that, that was excellent that I got that working. And I actually did a test set online last night.
Oh, so here's where all of his time went, by the way. All this nonsense and drivel about having to update things and plug them in and purchasing things with our credit card online. All of that was actually 20 minutes worth of work, and then he spent the remaining hour and 40 minutes playing randoms not streamed by himself in a room late at night.
What's it called? Player match, custom match, whatever it's called in Street Fighter 6. It wasn't ranked, but it was one set. I actually was only intending to play a single match, but I played someone and I accidentally kept rematching by accident. I couldn't figure out, I haven't played it in so long. I just kept mashing the button and it would rematch. So I ended up...
And you heard that right. He couldn't figure out how to not rematch, and then goes on to say that he was actually just fucking smashing the button trying to get out of there as fast as possible. For God only knows what reason. He clearly wasn't in a rush. He continued to play anyway. He was just smashing the fucking button and I guess reaping the rewards of his impatience by continuing to play late into the night. This, again, entirely his own fucking fault, and he even started to chuckle at the idea because even he understands he's fucking stupid.
Playing against a person who played Chun-Li, and I was using Lily, and it seemed to go absolutely really well. Like, it was smooth, it was reacting well. I don't think I had any dropped inputs or whatever, and it was a good set, a good match. So it ended up running really good, and I was like, all right, excellent. So I know what I'm doing today. Today I'm going to be playing at 1080p and very low input delay when we play Street Fighter 6 later today. All right. It took, I'm not even kidding, it took like half an hour to download the game. The game is so huge and bloated now on PC with all
Dog
the
shit
stuff
internet
added over the last 2.5 years. It took like ages, absolute ages.
I'm surprised he even uninstalled the game. He's left games installed for way fucking longer than Street Fighter 6, games that he has no intention of ever returning to.
For this game to actually install and
but yeah, he's paying for two accounts for internet.
Now,
the business internet is
now,
clearly robust and worth it.
At the same time I was doing all of that, I was doing the Windows updates. And the thing is, to put this into perspective, I don't think there has been a single time that I've done a Windows update on the capture streaming PC where it hasn't caused a problem.
That's not supposed to happen,
Every single time that
by
I've
the
done
way.
a Windows update on the capture and streaming PC, something has gone wrong, and it resulted in me doing excessive amounts of extra work. Okay? So...
Now, my PC is fucked in the fact that it does totally have Windows 11 and it's up to date, and I'm subject to the dog shit updates that Windows does push out in their shit-tacular OS. I've never had any of these issues though. Like, as much as I want to complain about the bloatware and their features that don't work and their incessant need to touch everything that I don't want them to touch, I've never had this issue where a bunch of my stuff just stops working all of the time and I have to endlessly fiddle fuck with it all of the time. I have no idea how DSP runs into this problem. I'm gonna chalk it up to user error. User error. There we go.
Just to go in line with that, I did the Windows updates yesterday. All right. And they ran, it updates, PC boots up, start to use it, webcam won't work. Great. And this actually had happened a year ago. If you remember, a year ago, I'd done exactly the same thing where I did all these cumulative Windows updates and the webcam also wouldn't work then either. There's something with the older model of the Instalink webcam that it seems to have issues with Windows periodically. And then I guess what they do is they patch it later and it works again, but then sometimes it won't work again. So I ended up having to do, let's see, driver updates, software updates.
Yeah, that's what a driver update is. It's a software update. I ended up
having to do so much extra crap.
Oh, a list of two. An extra crap, you guys. I had to do software updates and other stuff, obviously.
What should have been a simple Windows update be done in 5 minutes. I'm not kidding you. It took about an hour to just keep redoing this shit. And even then, this camera, I'll show you which camera I'm talking about. This camera right here, okay, still
again has to have the physical representation so you know what he's talking about, because you're too stupid to remember the layout he just showed you a couple of weeks ago.
Still is not fully updated. Okay, I put all updates in it. It still claims there's updates I didn't do. It says, oh, there's still driver updates you haven't applied to the camera yet. What are you talking about? I literally did all your updates, and it still says it's not done. So there's something weird, okay, in Windows with that particular camera that it just doesn't allow it to fully update right.
Okay.
There's not much I can really do about that. Eventually, what I may do is give up and just buy another one of this one. This is called the
my
Instalink 2.
Fucking God. Of course we are. Of course we would buy another camera. Because this one just refuses to update all of those features that he doesn't fucking use. We have to buy an additional multi-$100 camera. Come on, dude. And it has to be the latest and greatest robust version of the one that we currently have. Obviously. That's always the answer. Just buy more shit. Like I said, he doesn't even use the fucking features. Bro could have just bought a standard ass Logitech 1080p webcam for a fraction of the price and had no issues whatsoever. But he insists on buying the Instalink 360 Ultra AI powered auto pivot rotational 9000 and then is surprised when it doesn't work.
That one's the original
Fuck
Link.
me, dude.
I might just buy another Link too.
Yeah, the
That way I
Rolls
have
Royce
two
of
cameras
cameras,
that are
I
fully
agree.
updated and they're working properly. Because I like that camera, but the thing is just constantly seems to have issues with Windows whenever I do this update. It drives me nuts. I shouldn't have spent like an extra hour of time.
You shouldn't have spent the money on these fucking cameras is what we shouldn't have spent.
In here doing that shit last night just because I wanted to fully update everything. Okay? So basically, you know, after a stressful day yesterday of
Very stressful.
working my butt off to do the year-end series, to improve Call of Duty, having 2 streams that I felt weren't successful because they didn't live up to what I had wanted from them with all the time and effort I put into them. I then came into this office for 2 hours last night, and I had to do all this other stuff behind the scenes that, again, this is the stuff people don't think about. Oh, you're a full-time streamer. You just sit there and you stream games all day.
Yeah.
No, I deal with a lot of nonsense. I deal with a lot of updates, a lot of tech stuff, a lot of bullshit. It's very stressful. I should have been asleep. And instead, last night, I was in here for 2 hours, updating the PlayStation, tweaking Street Fighter 6, getting, you know, the capture streaming PC to work, which didn't work. So do the Windows updates, do the camera updates, do this.
I agree. He shouldn't have been up late at night doing all of this. He should be doing all of this in parts before the stream, while he's on break, when he goes to leave. All of these updates should be happening when he's outside of the room and not streaming anymore. I can't stress enough, this is a prison that he has created entirely himself. All of this is his own fault. But everyone else is supposed to listen to him cry about it.
And it's very frustrating. Okay, it is. It's very, very stressful. So all I want to do today, all right, is sit here with all of you, try this Code Violet game, see if it's any good. Play some Street Fighter.
Spoiler, it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. He quit after 1 hour. And he never even got that lady pants. I kept asking. I was in a Discord. Like, can we get some money to get this lady some pants? $50, and we will put some Levi's on her. And we didn't receive any money, and we didn't get that lady any pants. It was really unfortunate.
Have some fun.
I tried my best.
That's all I want to do. I don't want to sit here and argue and fight with idiots on the internet and mess with dumbasses who are spamming the chats and acting like fools. I don't want to sit here and stress about, are people going to show up and engage and support my fucking streams today? I just don't want to think about any of that. I just want to have a good time with you guys today. Does that make sense? I hope it does. You understand that, like, my brain is always on overdrive, thinking about a million things at once. It's thinking about, what am I working on now? What happens between the streams? What do I got to do tonight? What do I have to do for my day off tomorrow? What do I do? You know, what I set up for the streams that are going to be on Sunday? You know, is there anything I have to tell anyone today? Is everything working properly? Do I have to adjust anything here? Do I have to do that? My mind never shuts up.
Well, it sounds like he's suffering from a bit of anxiety, if you ask me. Now, I'm not a psychiatrist nor a psychological professional of any sort, but it kind of sounds like he's got a little bit of anxiety because he runs a business that is constantly on its last legs, and he is the sole proprietor and sole employee of it. So everything relies on him to do it, which, again, was his own doing. This is what he staked his entire life on. This is what he wanted to do for a living. If he didn't want these responsibilities, if he didn't want all of these stresses of making the thumbnails and ensuring that everything is in working order and everything's up to date and figuring out the schedule of what he's going to play and how he's going to talk about it or this, that, or the other, then he shouldn't have went into business for himself. He should have just remained an employee for somebody else where you don't have to think nearly as hard about nearly as many things. This is what being the boss is like, DSP. With more responsibility comes more stress and things that you have to think about. It's not that fucking complicated of an equation. Scrappy CC with the 2 saying, it's been tough, you know? His life has been tough. It's true. It's true. But again, he's the one that made it this way. He could have been some fucking no-name chump wagey at some low-level job, Walmart greeter, email answerer style at a desk. Not that there's anything wrong with being a wagey. Please get a fucking job. But he could have been any of those things when he was still employable and still in the workforce. And now it's too late. Now he's completely cast at sea. And this is where he has to stay at.
I really wish that there was a point where I could just tell my mind, shut the fuck up. And let me just sit here and relax. Because I actually feel like if I got some real relaxation for once, I'd feel a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really get to do that, particularly with all the work I've been putting in the last month and a half. It's been like constant stress and work and stress and work and stress and work. But I'm loving the content. Like, let me put it that way. I'm actually loving doing what I'm doing. I like how everything looks better, sounds better. I like that we can do a bigger variety of games. I like that some of the games that I played that weren't doing well, I'm playing better at them. I love all these improvements. Now I just need this to translate into results so I can relax.
He needs money, guys. That's what he just said. I know he tried to say it in a very polite and covert style way there. Definitely just asking for money. He needs it to translate into success.
Okay? That's basically what's going on with me right now. So I hope that you understand that. It's kind of very different from how it used to be.
It's not.
Because it used to just be like me standing here
the
demanding
same.
and being very kind of entitled and greedy and saying, give me, give me, give me. Why aren't you giving me? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm trying to do is express to you what's going through my mind, why I'm kind of stressed out, and why things are going the way that they are. And, you know, trying to figure out what we can do to improve that together. Okay?
Well, how we can improve that together is by you giving me more money, of course. It's pretty straightforward what he's asking for. We're just really obfuscating what it is we want.
So, would you guys like me to take care of this now? Because do you see what I'm saying? That I'm just trying to like talk and finish thoughts, and you see what these idiots do in my chat. See, for those watching on demand, you have no idea.
You have no idea.
There have been like, it's probably only one person, but it's like 2 or 3 accounts that have been spamming my chats with troll stuff the entire time I've been talking to try to derail it and let me not pay attention to what I'm doing here. So, you know, would you like me to take care of it? Now, we had a mod helping before, but I guess the mod took off. And so because of that, we haven't had a chance to shut these guys up. Would you like me to do that now?
Would you guys like me to get rid of the person that's very obviously trolling and insulting me and you guys? Would you like me to do that, or do you want me to leave them in as a toxic element for the lulz?
Okay, there's 2. You see, this is why I'm not gonna freak out about it. It's like, dude, I'm at this point in my life, I'm not gonna sit here and freak out about this nonsense, these idiots. If anything,
Are you
guys who
sure?
are normal people have been sitting there watching those guys in the chat, and you know.
Didn't he just have a freak out the other day about all of the Patrick thumbs down emotes in the fucking kick chat, and he went on a massive ban streak and was seething and coping and mauling all night about how toxic they were being and calling them kick children or whatever? Oh, but now, guys, we're not going to lash out at the toxicity. Of course not. We're way too mature now. That was last week. Fuck me, dude. Shout out Movie Sign for the 5, saying, I want it to translate into success. You people giving me money for 0 effort on my part. Oh, absolutely. And he really should just say it like that. He should just fucking come out and openly be like, I need you guys to give me more money if I'm putting in this much effort. If I'm buying all these things to upgrade my fucking streams and make it better for you, I need to see it reciprocated on your end or I'm not doing it anymore. At least then it would be honest. I would have to have some sort of respect for just saying it openly instead of fucking pussyfooting around like a coward. I would really like it to translate into success and maybe some robust, meaningful style support. I don't know, though. Thank you, Movie Sign, for the 5. And that's not to say I wouldn't make fun of him all the same. I absolutely would. just not for being a coward.
Know that they're just crazy, right? Like they're just unhinged lunatics. Letting them actually sit there and talk like that just exposes them for what they are. Because it would be one thing if they said the thing once and then moved on, but they've literally been sitting there for 15, 20 minutes spamming. They don't understand that it's not effective when you do it the 20th, 30th time. See what I mean? People paying me to do this, they don't understand that this has no effect on me. You're paying me. You understand that, right? You're actually paying me money to send me this.
Yeah, and they're getting the reaction that they want. They're getting their own segment, their own little time to shine on your stream right now, getting a reaction. Congratulations. You played right into it, you fucking dolt. Thank you, Old Man Jenkins, for the 2. Saying, this is the cashier telling you she can't pay her bills. I agree. Which you don't want that there, and you most definitely don't want it while you're trying to unwind at home and relax and watch something that's entertaining. Honestly, I would find it more acceptable if the wagey at work behind the cashier's register was complaining about how little she gets paid. That would make more sense because she works a real job. I don't think it would be acceptable, but I would at least understand it more. Thank you for the 2, Old Man Jenkins. And Mickey Thor for the 5, saying, compiling clips for a countdown is basically the same work as being a bricklayer. Well, I agree. Or working in trash. I mean, nobody wants to compile clips or bricklay or work in trash or be a welder. All of that is back-breaking labor that requires a very specific type of expertise and training, obviously. Thank you, Mickey Thor, for the 5. And the great point, of course.
It's not effective. Anyway, so now that I've gotten that off my chest, all right, and you understand where I'm coming from and what's going on, all right, what I think we got to do is we got to talk a little bit about the schedule this week and what to do.
No, I don't think
we
do.
got to talk about the gaming news thing. I want to definitely talk about because that's another thing that we've been talking about recently.
All right. So that is the end of the clip. And with that, the end of the stream. I hope all of you had a very, I'm going to say it again. I'm like the guy in this way, robust and meaningful time. I hope that all of you have a tangy aftertaste after all of the cool content that we watched. I don't think that we're on for WPIG 1651. I have not heard any words from Unk Insider himself. And I think I even have to work tomorrow morning very early. So we will probably not do that. So until I see you next time, I hope you all have a very safe and fun week. Please stay blessed. Thank you for coming to the stream. Goodbye.